Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Eternal Challenger League Season 1. So this is going to be the launch today, guys. We are here with the first qualifier round. So thank you guys so much for joining. I can see we already got a bit of a crew here. Just to kind of explain the general circumstances and parameters of the tournament, or the event itself, or the league, I should say. It's going to be 9 streams in total. The first 8 streams are going to be qualifiers. So each one is going to have 4 players. The winner of each one is going to get one of the pieces of 8. So that's going to essentially qualify them to then go on to the grand finals, which is going to be an 8-player tournament, ever chosen style. So we can actually go ahead and show you guys the pieces of 8 right here. So as we do progress, you guys are going to be seeing that individuals will earn one of these pieces of 8 as they win these qualifier tournaments. Yes, welcome guys. Thank you so much for joining. So their names will be engraved on these as we go through these 8 streams here. And then, of course, the grand finals will be an 8-man tournament. It's going to be a 5-6 hour stream. It's going to be heavy duty. It's going to be very fun. So we're going to be giving out the pieces of 8. I don't know. Maybe we'll actually send them one like in person. I think that'd be really funny just to send them like a Haggard gold coin with their name like scratched on it. But that's going to be the general circumstances of that. On top of that, for the brackets, every day is going to be different. Individuals who are playing in this tournament can only essentially take one shot. So the winner today obviously will move on to the grand finals, and you guys can see the brackets here. The winner today will move on to the grand finals, which will be probably in December or January, I would imagine, but you only get one shot at it. So once you do get eliminated, other players get an opportunity to compete. So we get, a bunch of fresh faces in here. It's definitely going to be quite a bit of fun. So Professor Pipes, he's not playing in this one. I think he's playing this weekend, or he'll be playing in one of them though, for sure. So yeah, it's going to be quite a bit of fun. So in today's matchups, we have Professor Pone versus Rightist in the first match. And again, that will be a best of 3. And then it's going to be Tokshen versus Sokol. So Sokol actually won, apparently, the Zerkovic's grand tournament that just happened. So definitely some cool stuff there. Tokshen, of course, quite a personality here in the community. So it's going to be pretty fun for sure. So I think without further ado, let's jump over back to the match here, and we're going to take a look. So in game 1, we have Professor Pone facing off against Rightist. So, of course, you guys know Professor Pone from Blood Bowl. He's been on a lot of videos on my channel. He's a very avid Vampire Counts player. That's the faction he likes to play, and I'm definitely quite excited to see which of the Bloodline Lords he's going to bring, or is he going to go old school and bring Helman Gorst or some other meme lord? We'll have to see. And Rightist, of course, a very active player in the multiplayer community. He's very, very solid. So Pone definitely has an uphill battle here, but I'm quite excited to see how this is going to go. So I think it's time. We're going to have some fun. Thank you guys so much for joining. And we are also here with the new spectator mode. So essentially I have full control over the maps. I start the battle, and, players originally in like Everchosen, we always had to be like, hey guys, can you not start until we're ready? But now I have full control over that, which is very nice. And let me let Pone know we're good to go. Good to go. Let's do it to it. And we'll stand by and have some fun. So now we can take some questions. And hopefully... How to do the invite. So essentially, if individuals want to play in this tournament, and there's going to be multiple seasons. So each season is going to be themed around the most recent content release. So right now, for example, we have the Vampire Coast. As you can see, we have the pieces of 8. So it's going to be the Eternal Challenger League Season 1, Feat the Vampire Coast. So everyone's going to have a bit of a theme, and the grand finals are going to be great. We're going to be giving away prizes. We're going to be doing raffles. It's going to be wild. Maybe have some showcases, all kinds of stuff like that. So I am going to be looking for sponsors as well for the grand finals to try and get a really substantial prize. I definitely think that will be very fun. So yeah, guys, Wicked D, I'm glad you're enjoying it. And yeah, as far as the league goes, if you're interested in joining, you just need to join the Discord community that we do run, and there's a section where you put in a request to join there. So, and even if we can't get you in on the first season, we'll get you guys in later seasons and everything like that. So the first battle here is going to be on the Iron Sand Desert. Actually, one of my favorite maps from Total War Warhammer 2. It was, you would think it would be like Tomb King's map, but it was actually out before then. And yeah, it makes for some good battles. There's a little bit of a terrain line of sight blocking, but for the most part, it encourages just a straight up battle, right? There's not going to be any shenanigans regarding, just hiding in forests and camping in any, optimal areas. It's just a straight up fisticuffs map, which is why I really like it. And I'm going to be picking the maps as we go through. So typically for tournaments, they have a set of maps. But now that we have spectator mode, I can simply go through and pick out the maps, which is really, really fun and useful. So first match, Professor Pone is going to be playing. And it looks like he has a Von Karstein Vampire Lord, which is a very, very good choice here. Because often the Vampire Coast loves to just go heavy duty in the skies, right? You're going to be seeing Terrorgeist, just all kinds of flying shenanigans, and just having that vortex to kind of pin them down is going to be so useful to allow the Fellbats and other units to get in there. So the Von Karstein Vampire Lord, by far one of the more competitive choices. He looks really cool too. So he does have the Storm of the Night, I believe is what it's called. So it can actually hit ground units too, which is really awesome. On top of that, he does have the Undeath Resurgent, Sword of Antihero, so he's all kitted out with his items. Block of Doom, Raise Dead, as well as Invo, and he does have Transformation of Kadan. So not all 5 spells, but he does have 4 of them. So it looks like he's going for a little bit of a tactical flexibility. So if the Coast had gone very zombie heavy, right, or just horde heavy, Block of Doom would be good. So it doesn't cost that much to have that flexibility, so I see what he's doing there. Front line's going to be Graveguard, 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 and Stearnsman on the far side. Secondary line is Graveguard with great weapons, which I think is incredibly solid. These guys are going to be good against Depth Guard. They can definitely chew up the ground forces. You have to respect Depth Guard, because if you don't, they can definitely cause a huge dent in your army. He does have a Necromancer as well for the mana battery, an Invocation of Nehek, all that kind of fun stuff, and Fellbats up in the skies. So Fellbats are a hard counter against Deck Droppers. However, Rightist, I think, was expecting an Air Force, so he went with the Deathstreak Terrorgeist plus Luther Harkin. Luther, of course, one of the best duelists in the game. This guy's an absolute monster. So I really like this army from Rightist quite a bit. I think Pone has the tools to obviously stomp out the ground, but the most important thing is going to be making sure that his Von Karstein Vampire Lord is protected and that he's not being just annihilated by the double Terrorgeist here. And there are some Dire Wolves. Looks like the Dire Pack for Professor Pone is going to be harassing, and yeah, should be fun. For the forces of Rightist, he does have Luther Harkin up in the skies. He does have 3 Deck Droppers with the handguns, which are so damn solid. Now, Fellbats are a hard counter to these guys. I think if Professor Pone is really aggressive with his micro, he should be able to chase these guys down, but they're still protecting Fellbats. There's 2 Terrorgeists. It's going to be spooky. For the ground forces of the Vampire Coast, we got Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mobs with pole arms, which are solid, AP, durable, all that kind of good stuff. We do have Syreens as well in the back, who aren't going to be useful for their terror per se, but they definitely have decent armor piercing. They have debuffs. I like that quite a bit. We'll let the guys know. Start when ready. All right. And we also do have a Vampire Fleet Captain with Vampires. In the back, it looks like, yeah, just a couple cannons. I think he might have 2. Yeah, and he split them up, which is really good, because that means if Professor Pone wants to shut them down with zombie summons, he's going to have to, march pretty, far distances. It's not going to be as easy as it normally would be. So, yes, guys, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining. We are here with the first of the Eternal Challenger League seasons. This is going to be the Vampire Coast edition, and this is the first qualifier match. So there's going to be 8 qualifying streams, and then the finals are going to be the 8 winners, who each of whom got a piece of 8 in our tournament here. And yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. The Vampire Bloodline thing is pretty fun for sure. I like it quite a bit. I mean, I just like new stuff, so I can't complain. Anyways, the battle's underway. Looks like Rightist is going to be laying some cannon fire into the Footlords here, maybe, but the Footlords might actually catch him off guard. Like, Luther Harkin is obviously pretty powerful under all circumstances, but having the Footlords are definitely a little tougher to snipe. And it looks like the Fellbats are going just straight after the Deck Droppers, which I love. Professor Pone, of course, is going to have a bit of a fight on his hands here as the Terrorgeist is able to intercept and poison them. And it looks like Rightist does also have his own Fellbats they're able to intercept. But the other Fellbats are definitely chewing on the Deck Droppers a little bit right here. It is a 2v1, so 2 Fellbats are fighting. But yeah, look at that. Rightist had all the kind of tools up in the skies to win this trade. In the meantime, you can see Professor Pone sneaking around the back with the Dire Pack. Looks like he's going to be going in on this Carronade in the back, trying to shut it down, which isn't a bad choice. The Deckhand Mobs are a little bit behind it, so the dogs will definitely get into the crew a little bit. But yeah, they're chewing it up pretty good. Not a bad engagement for Pone Dog. And it looks like he does drop a massive Vortex. So the Vortex of the Storm of the Night going down right here on Luther Harkin, kind of pinning him down, but not doing the most damage. But it probably would have been a little bit better to use the Storm of the Night with the Fellbats engaged, although it looks like it did kill the Fellbats of the Vampire Coast. The other Fellbats in the meantime are just going to be attacking the Terrorgeist, and at the very least, they are a bit of a distraction Carnifex. They're like kind of occupying Rightist's attention, and really, the forces of Professor Pone on the ground aren't taking much damage or pressure as they do approach this mainline force. The dogs over here have engaged the cannon, and it looks like they're actually doing pretty good. The zombie Deckhand Mobs obviously are anti-large, and they're not going to get that against Direwolves. On the far side, it looks like Rightist did have to drop back his Carronade, and it also forced out an Invocation of Nehek, which is going to be quite useful for Professor Pone to have gotten rid of one of those cats, right? It's not going to be on Luther Harkin or some of these other high-value targets. Now, it's going to be pretty important, though. The Von Karstein Lord needs to be very careful. He needs to stack on top of some defensive units, whether it be spears or something else, because Luther Harkin is laying a bit of a whooping, and we haven't seen an Invocation of Nehek go down yet on this Von Karstein Vampire Lord. That's going to be really important to get that bad boy going down there. The Deck Droppers, in the meantime, are going to be taking pot shots. The Invocation has gone off, and he does have a Silver Shield as well, so he's pretty durable against this fire, but he needs to be standing on top of troops. If he stands on top of them, they're going to take some of that firepower. Front line is underway. You can see the Graveguard are mulching. Pretty good stuff over here. The Direwolves actually got in there and caused some problems on the Carronades. It at least temporarily disabled them. And how many of the cannons did they actually take out? Doesn't look like they took out any, but oh, look at this. Professor Pone actually snuck around the back, and he's just like running circles around the cannon. And there are going to be the Stearnsmen going back here, which pretty much guarantees that cannon is going to get shut down. In the meantime, the Von Karstein Vampire Lord has healed up. He's back up to about 60%, so he's in pretty good shape. And Luther and the Deck Droppers, I mean, they are running a little bit low on ammo, so the Great Weapons are now going to be moving forward. Granted, Professor Pone doesn't need much in the way to win this ground fight, right? You can see the Graveguard are just annihilating these zombie deckhand mobs here. And yeah, it's going pretty well for the vampire counts on the ground fight. But the aerial fight, as well as the dogs and the Fellbats, they just kind of got punished because obviously you can see Ritus was indeed expecting Air Force gooning there. Yvonne Karstein, Vampire Lord, is now going to be fighting in the front line. He's definitely going to want some support. He's a little bit thin here. I think that him going after the Vampire Fleet Captain is a pretty good choice. And he probably does have another Storm of the Night coming up, which is going to be quite helpful. Balance of power is slightly in the favor of the Vampire Coast, but it's still a very close game. And now that the cannons have been shut down, the Sternsmen essentially are going to kill this defensive crew. The Carronade is 100% shut down here. The other Carronade is shut down as well. So Professor Pone has done a pretty good job shutting down both Carronades here. And, I mean, yeah, it's really going to come down to, can the Von Karstein Vampire Lord survive the pressure of Luther Harkin? If he can, I think that he'll be in good shape. And Luther, of course, is powerful, but the Von Karstein Vampire Lord is no pushover, and he does have the Storm of the Night to potentially pin him down here. So Zombie Summon going down, Skeleton Spears are going to be piling in. Sirens are getting worn down, and just a massive victory here for the Graveguard as they do just trounce those guys, so they're going to be probably marching into the back line, or at least swarming over here. And Luther's, I mean, he's a little bit trapped up here. Invocation of the Heck going down. The Von Karstein Vampire Lord does pop the Sword of Anti-Heroes and the Charmed Shield, giving him all kinds of combat stats, ward save, just tons of goodies coming in here, which is definitely going to be pretty solid. In the meantime, you can see the Graveguard 67 models here, 56 here. I mean, it's the balance of power is actually coming back for Professor Pone now. He was very far behind initially when he lost to Fellbats in that first fight, but he is kind of creeping his way back up towards the middle. Luther Harkin is very heavily surrounded here, and it looks like the Vampire Coast might actually run out of stuff on the ground here. I mean, that's going to be a big issue for them. The Graveguard here have basically shut down both the cannons. Obviously, the Vampire Coast brought the cannons against Vargulfs and other large threats. Oh, and it looks like Professor Pone is going to be summoning a Vargulf with the Von Karstein Vampire Lord. That is so incredibly cool. And Luther Harkin actually has to retreat. He gets forced back by the Von Karstein Vampire Lord. And I would assume that Professor Pone probably has another of the Storm of the Nights in his pocket here. And you can see the Graveguard and the Vampiric hosts are just kind of pushing their way through the zombie hordes, which is pretty good. And guys, the Deck Droppers are also running a little bit low on ammo, and the Storm of the Night going down, which does actually do damage as well. So I would have probably saved it for like a ground engagement here, but it looks like he's just trying to keep Luther up in the skies, keep him from cycle charging, and buy some time for this Vargulf to actually lay a bit of a spanking on the Vampire Fleet Captain here. Balance of power is still really even. Professor Pone is actually chasing the Carronades off. So 27 speed against the 20 of the zombie mobs. Okay, so he's just trying to kill. What Professor Pone's trying to do is he's trying to kill everything on the ground, just everything. So if he kills everything on the ground, then Ritus is going to have to land his Air Force. Luther Harkin's actually a little bit beat up here, and the Von Karstein Vampire Lord is just tanking like an absolute boss, just doing a great job. This Vampire Fleet Captain here is also getting a little bit low in regards to the healing cap, so that's going to be nice. No more healing there. The Deck Dropper's still laying some fire, but he's kind of hiding amongst his ranks. The Charm Shield does give him missile parry and resist. Definitely a lot of good stuff going down. A very, very good opening game here. And you can see the zombie mobs, the Carronade crews are being hunted down by the Sternsmen. So those cannon crews are going to be 100% offline at this point. And now Professor Pone just has to kind of grind out this fight here. And look at this summoned Vargulf. It's doing so much work. Beautiful stuff. It's actually able to almost solo kill this Vampire Fleet Admiral here, or Captain here, who's crumbling, -6 leadership, just crazy stuff, just showing the true power of the Von Karstein Bloodline Lord, as it's able to just, summon a Vargulf, which basically just sold this Fleet Captain, right? So beautiful play there from Professor Pone. But Ritus is right in it. He still has Luther Harkin. It's mostly Graveguard. The Graveguard can put up an okay fight against Luther on the Terrorgeist, but of course the Deathstreak Terrorgeists from the Vampire Coast are a little bit more well-rounded. They're actually designed to kill anything. They don't have like anti-large, so they just kind of are somewhere between a dragon and a regular Terrorgeist in regards to general fighting. It looks like the Vampire Fleet Captain here is still actually crumbling a little bit. The second Terrorgeist, the Deathstreak Terrorgeist, is surrounded by Graveguard, taking some work. But yeah, if you can get rid of this this Vampire Fleet Captain and essentially shut down the magic and truly remove Luther Harkin from the Winds of Magic, that is going to be incredibly powerful. So that's going to be awesome. Vampire Fleet Captain here going down, 245, 234, 190. It is getting so low. That's going to be really tough, and the Vampire Coast really has nothing left on the ground, but the Von Karstein Vampire Lord is almost dead. Luther Harkin, of course, has his pistol. He's been charging in, doing a ton of damage, but the Von Karstein Lord does get one more Storm of the Night off here, which is going to do a little bit of damage and hold him in place and allow him to butter the bread of some of these ground forces. But I still think it's going to be a fight that's going to favor the Vampire Coast, because the double Terrorgeists are going to be really tough to kill. There still are Skeleton Spears here, and they are going to have to land, but the leadership of the Vampire Counts is getting so beat up right now. 186. Luther Harkin is 100% out of ammunition. His bats are out of ammo, and now they're just going to be diving in, right? They have to engage here. So Oh man, and I think that Luther's going to be going in for the kill here. The Von Karstein Vampire Lord has been taking such a beating this entire game. And here comes Luther Harkin, and we're going to see if he can hold. Oh man, Luther is going to have to just grind his way through a lot of these Graveguard and Elite troops. And guys, something else that nobody's really taken into account here is that the Sternsmen are having to work their way back to the battlefield here. So the Sternsmen are going to be really, really tough to take down. I would probably keep these guys on the other Terror guys here and kind of mulch on them a little bit, but the Felbats are getting taken down. The deck droppers here, I mean, they're okay in just staying combat, but really, I mean, the Hornswoggle going down too, which puts him down to 60 armor on the Graveguard. Very, very close fight. Luther isn't a true dedicated anti-large lord. He's just kind of more well-rounded. He doesn't have the anti-large, so he's not going to do as good as like a traditional Terror guys would, I guess, against a large target, but he's better against like other things like infantry. So a good breath attack going down from Ritus there, which does hit the Graveguard with great weapons. Definitely a pretty nice little breath attack. Remember, guys, this is a best of 3. This is only the first game between these two gentlemen here, so hopefully we'll have some good matches. Death 3 Terror guys does pile in against the Graveguard with great weapons. You do have pretty good AP, and they can definitely do some decent damage. And it looks like all the deck droppers are pretty much done for. Luther Harkin is kind of getting dragged down by all these Graveguard, which is pretty insane for sure. And guys, the Sternsmen are coming back. Oh man, this is going to be pretty tough. These guys are not easy to kill. They were on that grand crusade across the desert to take out those Carronade crews. It looks like Ritus does have a slight advantage in the bounce of power here, but the Von Karstein Vampire Lord sitting with 5 HP. Somehow his leadership isn't broken. A true hero of his people. If he can get like one more good attack on the Terror guys before he goes, man, that would be nice. But it looks like he's still at 5 HP, and that is kind of the benefit of Footlords, right? Footlords, like if that guy was on a mount, he probably would have died to that attack instead of being knocked over, but it's definitely quite useful. So, man, it is going to be a blob of Vampire Count, Graveguard, and different troops like that against Luther Harkin. And these guys are going to have to stay and fight here. I don't know how this is going to go. The Von Karstein Vampire Lord popping his buffs, Undeath Resurgent, the Sword of Anti-Heroes going down, and the HP is slowly starting to dwindle here, but the bounce of power is still very, very even. It's like dead in the middle. I don't know if anyone can really come away here. Man, this is a close one, and there's still a bunch of Skeleton Spears too with their anti-large, just kind of pinning these guys in, and this is going to be a very, very grindy fight here. But yeah, no predictions really. I mean, these guys certainly aren't going to tear out. There are a lot of Graveguard here, 55. 47, we have another 33 here. The Sternsmen have 90 models. Power Siphon going down as well, which lowers the vigor. He's trying to tire out the undead here, but Luther Harkin's definitely taking some damage. I mean, I don't know, guys. What do you guys think in chat? Do you think the Zom Dragons, Dragon Zombies, Zom Dragons, I don't even know what to call them right now, but Luther Harkin in here fighting to the bitter end. He's losing HP, but he's also regaining it because he does have the hunger. He is, of course, a vampire, but you know, the thing is that he's going to get to his healing cap relatively quick here. You can see he's rapidly approaching that. The other Terrorgeist is also healing a little bit, but yeah, this is just a grind fest. Luther is actually tanking really quick. He's taken a lot of damage. Those Skeleton Spears, I have a feeling, are doing a lot of that damage because they do, of course, have the anti-large. They're just kind of poking in there and getting that work in. Luther is now below 3,000 HP. So, I don't know. If Luther starts to go, I think the other Terrorgeist is probably going to crumble due to army losses. You can see they're just ravenously just cutting through these Graveguard and these other troops. But again, the Sternsmen are going to be the real, you know, aces here that you have to get rid of. Those guys are just going to go to the bitter end. You guys think the Graveguard are going to get this? You guys think Harkin? We gotta... Yes, Terror Gooses. Somebody said that, and that was incredibly funny. I can't remember who called them. I think it was Aerocrastic who was saying that in chat earlier. But look at Luther Harkin just tossing up and eating Graveguard and just throwing them about. And let's see his HP. So he's down to 2,700. Luther Harkin is now at his healing cap here in a matter of moments. So no more healing coming in for him. And the Graveguard are just a tide pouring in, just causing problems. Most of them are pretty beat up though. 41 models here, 37 here. They're definitely getting worn down. 147 kills, 190 on the Death 3 Terror guys. And I really like that Professor Pone went like super wide, right? It's definitely very tough for the Vampire Coast to handle. So Luther is now at 2,500 HP, guys. And the rules of our tournament do stipulate that if you only have like single entity models left, you have to stay and fight to the bitter end. So you can't actually like, you can't fly up and cycle charge. It's against the rules of our tournament, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check that. But in this case, he does have to stay and fight, which I definitely think is pretty good. You guys think it's easy for the Graveguard? I don't know about that. I don't know. These guys are no joke. Yeah, Luther Harkin is getting so beat up, and look at the bounce of power right now. I think that's actually in favor of the Vampire Coast, and again, there could be army losses issues stepping in for the Vampire Counts. It's hard to say, but what a great battle. This has been so back and forth. We got to see the Von Karstein Vampire Lord really shine, and on foot, he was able to survive that initial beating so well, and he took out the Carronades. I think that's going to be it for the Terror guys. Oh my gosh, 1,800 HP. He is getting so low. I don't know if the Sternsmen can do it. They've been hornswoggled as well, which is going to lower their defensive stats and their armor and different things like that. But man, Luther Harkin, I think he's going to pull it out. Him and his other Terror guys are just too healthy. Yeah, oh yeah, most people in single player would probably throw this to 3 times speed. But well played, Professor Pone and Ritus. In the first game of today's match here, you can see that the Sternsmen are fighting, but yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Luther Harkin is just grinding it out. Oh my god, 1300 HP. I mean, if he were to go down, I wonder if the Sternsman could actually finish it off. I don't think so with the Hornswoggle. Luther is a beast of a melee combatant, guys. He is not a pushover. And you can see right now their leaderships, yeah, army losses are going at that point. I don't think they could have done it anyways with this Terra, guys. So well played. GG. That was crazy. That's game one. Depth guard, like one-on-one would probably beat standard Graveguard, but Graveguard with great weapons would trade a little bit better. So, game one, the Von Karstein Vampire Lord put up a great fight. I think what cost Professor Pone the game, and he almost won that, was that the Fellbats just had really suboptimal engagements. I would have liked to have seen the Storm of the Night used in the beginning to actually pin down the Terrorgeist or some of those other targets to then allow the Fellbats to get onto the Deck Droppers. Because the Deck Droppers essentially got to sit that entire game and, and shoot. They weren't really impeded. The 3 Fellbats were a really good choice, but I think he needed a little bit more Fellbat pressure, or more like maybe having the Von Karstein Lord on a Hellsteed to be able to outrun these guys, and then from there cause some problems. But if he was on the Hellsteed, he would have been a big target and potentially could have died. So it's definitely very tough. So we're going to update the scoreboard real quick here, as we do have the red score, which is going to be 1-0. And it is a best of 3. So we're in game 2 here. I'll go ahead and change the map, and we are going to be on the Eschen. Yeah, Eschen was the next map. All right, Eschen is game 2. Yeah, not often you get to see cinematic shots as the player yourself. Yeah. That was great stuff. That was really fun. And also, let me go ahead and scroll down here. Big thanks to White Frost Gaming for the $10 donation. He says, first time I've been here for live stream hypes. Hope to see some Wood Elves. Okay, maybe. I mean, Wood Elves are a very popular tournament faction, but I don't know if we have any Wood Elf players in today's tournament that are really avid about it, but we'll see what we can do. So thank you guys so much for joining. And thank you again for the donation. It really does mean a lot and helps support the tournament community and all that kind of fun stuff. Yeah, the Sternsman tried for sure. That was a really close game. Let's see here. Making sure this is all good. And we're solid. Best faction, I mean, I would say that if you're just new to the game, I would really recommend playing like the... Warriors of Chaos are pretty solid. You just go with like heavy infantry, kind of master, you move your infantry forward, control your lord efficiently, and then just kind of focus on using your cav and pressuring the flanks with like poison hounds. You don't have to worry so much about protecting range tools. Factions like that are definitely very forgiving. On top of that, Vampire Counts is another one that's very forgiving because you have so much healing, your units aren't going to break, so they're really good factions for beginners. Granted, they're really high level as well, which is quite cool. As far as the factions go, so the way I do faction picking for my tournaments as well as the Ever Chosen is I have individuals just agree on matchups. So Professor Pone and Rightist, they met before the match. It also like is a good measure of like if people are good to work with, because if somebody can't like work with their opponent to find like good, enjoyable matches, then I mean, it's already a bit of a red flag, right? But the reason we do that is because then the 2 players can be like, okay, I like this matchup. This is a fair matchup. It's not going to be like Vampire Counts versus Chaos, like which was bad before. It might not be as bad now with Arcan being changed, but it makes for the best matches because the players get what they want to play. You get even matchups with factions that they feel are well balanced, and it's definitely quite a bit of fun. So, did somebody say end times? Eschen is game 2. Yeah. All right. So, pick and start when ready. Yes, that's how we do the faction picks for Ever Chosen as well as for these tournaments here. And now we're in game 2 between Professor Pone, who actually just played the Vampire Counts, and now he's going to be playing the Vampirates, the Vampire Coast. Vampire Coast doing pretty well. I definitely think they're a solid faction. They have some really good answers, especially, I mean, even in the competitive scene, right? Their lords are just so good. Deck Droppers are really good. They have a really mean Air Force game if they want to have that. But the Warriors of Chaos got some crazy buffs. Archaon's Crown of Domination now has like a massive radius compared to what it was before. So he can give immunity to psychology in a very big radius. And even if the Vampire Coast wants to go with like a big armored monster to fight him, he has huge AP now. So it's a whole different game for the Warriors of Chaos. Granted, I still think, I don't know, Archaon's actually a really good choice here. I might even just go Archaon on his horse or on foot in the Vampire Coast matchup. Sigvald's also a very good choice in this matchup if you want to go wide because he's just a sponge and he's durable. Granted, I think Archaon's a little bit better. Even Sartorial is probably the most competitive pick in this matchup, I would say. Oh, don't be scared to play multiplayer. It's quite a bit of fun. I mean, yeah, you're going to lose games, but, you know, that's just part of the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. So right now they're going to be picking their armies. Let me see if they have any questions. Cool. Vampire Coast versus Chaos. I actually think this is a hard matchup for the Vampire Coast. I really do, because Chaos can just swarm you with infantry that are so cost effective. Chaos Warriors are just beasts. They have silver shields. They can swarm you with Forsaken, with Marauders. They can send in the Warp Chicken, who has like 60% missile resist. And it's like, it's really tough for the Vampire Coast. Granted, the Coast can do it. I think using a Colossus is very important. Using Count Nautilus and just spam summoning and just being very defensive. A little bit tough to play the powder game, but if you just spam deck droppers, you can do a lot of work. Like deck droppers plus Nautilus, it can pay some dues for sure. The never chosen isn't bad here. I don't think Archeon is going to be a comprehensively chosen competitive pick, but I think he's going to have a couple niche matchups like the Vampire Coast, for example, where he's very good, right? He has a silver shield, he's heavily armored, he's very durable, he has fire magic, which is already pretty good against Vampire Coast. He has heavy armor piercing, he can essentially annihilate any of the Vampire Coast lords in one-on-one. He'll destroy Aranessa, he'll destroy Noctilus, he'll destroy Solastra. But, I mean, he can do a lot of work. Even if Solastra is in her ghost form, he can pop the Flaming Sword of Ruin and get magic damage. So, I mean, he's definitely brings a lot to the table here, for sure. Yeah. Queen Bess. You know, if anyone's going to bring Queen Bess, it would be Professor Pone in like a competitive tournament. High Elves are very good. I think High Elves are very, very good. And in regards to picking Tyrion, I think it's just a match-specific thing. Like, if Tyrion's really good in the Vampire Coast matchup because he's like, he can just like hunt the souls of the Vampire Coast lords. But it's really, I mean, in the other matchups, Alariel's going to be better. Maybe Teclis will have some niches as well. There. If you're asking about builds in general, it's always optimal to kind of cater it to the matchup, not so much have a general build. That's like something I really try and impose on people, that they'll be like, oh, well, what's a good build for Vampire Coast? Well, it depends on who you're playing. That's really the most important thing. He could get shot at by Luther for sure. He could. I mean, he could even go with like, you know, Manticores and Pressure the Skies and you know, I don't think, yeah. I mean, Harpies are really good in this matchup as well, but of course, you're not on every faction. Brock Lesnar. What streaming setup? I'm just using OBS, Open Broadcasting Software. Yeah. Yeah, Sarthoriel's a really good pick here as well. He's incredibly strong, for sure. He does some serious work. High Elves are a great faction. I think High Elves are actually one of the best counters against Vampire Coast. It is so damn hard for Vampire Coast to beat the High Elves, because High Elves just have Lothern Seaguard. It's like, good luck trading with Lothern Seaguard. It's like, you want to trade missiles with them? Nope. You want to go after them with anything else? They have spears and high melee defense. It's just like, they're tough to take down. The way that Vampire Coast can really do it is using mortars and deck gunners, actually. That's one of the best ways to deal with the High Elves, but it's still very tough. It's an uphill matchup. Hands down. Hands down. Yeah, you could even bring the Aspiring Champions. I mean, who knows? The metagame has shifted so much, and I thought that was kind of a good, like, now it's a good time to start like a new, you know, multiplayer movement where we have a league that's going to be going on, the ECL. We're actually going to be making a website as well that's going to kind of catalog the different seasons and all that stuff eventually. So we will do that probably. We'll see what the interest is for sure. Yeah, I mean, you could see 3 Manticores and an Exalted Hero for sure. I could actually look at their armies right now. We can click, but I don't want to click on the armies just in case like one of them has the stream open and they accidentally look, you know, I mean, accidentally, you know, so I want to keep it a little bit fair and square in that respect. Yeah, the bitrate's a little bit pixelated. Okay, let me see here. If I go into settings, in my stream settings, the bitrate's pretty high. It's actually already 5,000. I think like the peak of that you would want to do would be like 6,000. It could potentially be your connection. Steven, thank you so much for the donation. He says, what do you think about the Duke, Alberic? Now, Alberic, I think, is actually not as bad as he was before, because he has some pretty good niches. So essentially, Steven, I actually just recorded a battle. It's actually on my desktop right now. I could double click it and show you guys. But essentially, Alberic now, he gives a speed buff. He has anti-large, and his trident, I believe they fixed it. It actually does pretty good damage now. So it's not bad against like vampire counts. But if you want to go with like Alberic and like 2 groups of Royal Hippogriff Knights, they get 100 speed. So you can chase down Terrorgeist and lay an unholy spanking on them. So Alberic definitely is a little bit better than he was before, for sure. Watching Turin whilst eating a Chinese takeaway, dude, that sounds like the life for sure. Sounds like the life. Okay, I feel like I want to look at their armies. I want to look so bad. It's so hard. Hey, what's up, Zyphos? Welcome. Zyphos, of course, will be playing in some of our later events. Manticore should have poison. They have Scorpion Tails after all. Looks like Professor Pone is ready for game 2. So currently, Ridus is up 1-0 in the series here. And if he takes this, he's going to be moving on to the finals of the first qualifier of the Eternal Challengers League. And here we go. It is showtime. Dave Rubin, huh? Interesting. Interesting. I don't know who that is, but sounds good to me. I look like Turin. Yeah, Alberic's quite a bit better than he was before. I don't know if they changed his stats or anything, but the Trident, I actually used it yesterday in a quick battle, and it like almost one-shotted the Stearnsman. I was like, whoa, that did a ton of damage. So, I mean, and he was giving speed to my Royal Hippogriff Knights who were just like hunting things. It was really fun, actually. So, I don't know if it's competitive per se. Fey Enchantress is still probably going to be one of the more popular picks, but anyways. Oh, yeah, this is going to be great. I love it. Look at the Manticores. The Manticores are here. So, yeah, it's going to be Chaos, who's going to be led by Rightist, and then we do have Professor Pone, who's going to be playing the Vampirates. Now, as far as the forces go, for Professor Pone, we do have two groups of the deck droppers with the handguns, but Rightist obviously has a bit of a notion about how good they are, considering he used them so well last game. So he does have a Chaos Feral Manticore, as well as, yeah, he has 2 Manticores. Oh man, I love it. Like, the metagame is so different now. We're seeing so many different things, right? We're seeing 2 Manticores. We're seeing Archaon in like a competitive environment. This is so awesome. And Archaon, of course, does do magic damage. So he's going to, if Celastra gets close to Archaon, her bread is going to get buttered so badly. It is going to be so bad. But anyways, for the forces of Pone, we have 2 deck droppers. We do have a couple Mourngulls as well. So the Mourngul is pretty good against infantry in general. Bonus versus infantry, they heal themselves. You definitely need to get some good burst damage on them. But I feel like Rightist is just on point. Like, he has these Marauder Horsemen to kind of poke the Mourngulls down. Like, he's got plenty of tools for sure. For Professor Pone's front line, he's got Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs, which are going to get pretty much annihilated by any Chaos Infantry. Mirror Guard especially are going to put those guys down. But the Mourngulls are there to support. He has a couple groups of gunnery mobs, it looks like. Just the standard, not hand cannons, but handguns. He does have a cannon in the back, a carronade. He has Deck Gunners, so Deck Gunners, very good armor piercing, very good range. So Professor Pone, in order to win this, he needs to annihilate those Horsemasters. If he's able to kill these Horsemen and just kind of shut down the range pressure on the Mourngulls and some of his other monsters, I think that his army is going to be pretty tough for this Chaos Army to take down. So on top of that, he does have Celastra Dire Fawn, who is actually really competitive. You just bring her with a Crab Summon, and then you get a Vampire Caster. And I actually use her, like, I think she's the preferred pick in many competitive matchups. Celastra is very, very good. I didn't think so at first, but my opinion of her has really come around quite a bit. We do have a Vampire Fleet Captain with the Lore of Vampires, so he has Invocation and Raised Dead, which is pretty standard stuff. Deck Gunners, we got some Krabby Patties on the far side, so the Lamprey's Revenge, and these guys are beastly. They actually regenerate, they have 63 melee defense, they take forever to kill, so I actually really like Professor Pone's build. I feel like it's quite solid. It's going to really come down to his play, because I think he has the tools to defeat this Chaos Army, but it's really, again, going to be a micro thing. Can he handle the pressure that Rightist is going to be throwing his way? And for the forces of Rightist, start when ready. It says he's ready, Professor. For the forces of Rightist, Chaos Marauders in the front line, Chaos Warriors, so a bunch of shielded infantry. He does have a couple great weapons in the back to keep it honest against Depth Guard. On top of that, he does have Archaon the Everchosen on foot. With his silver shields, this guy is going to be tough to kill. 4,300 HP. I think that's the highest of all Foot Lords in the game. Chaos Feral Manticore here, 1 here, 3 groups of Marauder Horsemen with some Throwing Axes as well. So Throwing Axes, and it looks like there's 1 regular group in there, I think. Or is it just 4 Throwing Axes? So he's really just looking to put those crabs down like hardcore. All right, guys, this is going to be fun. I'm really excited to see Archaon in action. And again, big thanks to Steven for the donation, as well as White Frost Gaming. I really appreciate it, you guys. Support for the new ECL league. We'll call it one of the first official esports leagues. I don't know. It's not the first. There's actually some really good leagues that are run by the community here, but the first one I've had on my channel. So it's showtime, boys. It is showtime. Vampire Coast Micro, press start battle. We'll see about that. I mean, honestly, Professor Pone is going to have his hands full. He's going to have to be simultaneously running from those Manticores while also shooting the Manticores, while also protecting his back line against the pressure and the Marauder Horsemen. Like, he's going to be stretched to his limits here for sure. The Deck Gunners, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he targets here. Maybe he'll take out the some of the infantry in the front, like the Mirror Guard and things like that. Celastra can actually summon her damned Knight Errants, or Knight Errants? I always get that one, Knights Errant, and whatever they're called. And she can summon those bad boys to actually chase down these Marauder Horsemen here, which is a really good answer because, again, they're ethereal, they take very little damage from physical sources, and oh man, that fireball from Archaon, though, could potentially just melt Celastra. Oh man, she's ethereal, she's going to take so much damage from that fireball. He does have Invocation of Nehek as well, so the carronades have been set to fire here. Probably going to be shooting at the Chaos Warriors, I would imagine, but I would actually just take out the Horsemen because the Mourngulls are actually really good against all these infantry, but they're going to get annihilated by the Throwing Axes and the missile pressure and things like that. So here we go. Cannon's underway. It's going to be taking some shots. It looks like it's lining up its sights here with some of the Chaos Warriors. And yeah, the deck droppers are going to be swooping in. Now, deck droppers are faster than Manticore, so Professor Pone is on top of his micro. He shouldn't be caught. Looks like deck droppers are going to be poking Archeon a little bit, which isn't a bad choice, but I would definitely clean out the Manticores here. But the Horsemen are all hiding in the trees. They're all hidden, and here they come, just swarming through the forest. Well, not forest, but just this patch of sad, desolate trees here. But these guys have really short range. So, I mean, Professor Pone definitely needs to run here. He gets some okay shots on Archeon, does some decent poke, but, oh, Pone, you need to pull back. It's a trap. It's a trap. If he gets these guys caught, he's going to be in so much trouble. You see Pone's like, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. And he starts running right now with those guys. The cannons, in the meantime, are going to be shooting at Chaos Warriors. And now the deck gunners, I would actually start shooting at the Mirror Guard or these Marauder Horsemen here. These guys need to be put down because they are just going to cause so much problems for these deck droppers, which Professor Pone really needs. They're also a counter against Morngulls and all those different things like that. So, yeah, deck gunners are actually shooting against Marauder Horsemen, which is a good choice. I think he needs to pressure those guys and put them down. They're pretty poor leadership as is. But this Chaos Army is going to do a ton of work. Man, when it gets here, this is going to be so much pressure from the Chaos. This is going to be really, really tough here. The Morngulls, of course, are prepped. They can deal with most of these threats here, but that is a lot of stuff. The Carronade is also going to be shooting. It looks like it has switched to the Marauder Horseman, which I think is a very, very good choice here. The infantry battle is going to have to be a little bit of a sacrifice because there's just so much stuff. And is he going to have enough to defend his flanks? I guess he has zombie pirate deckhand mobs and different things like that. And Professor Pone is getting some pretty good damage in on the great weapons. Those Mirror Guard, though, are going to be a huge threat. And the Manticores are just now coming in, right? So that's going to be a little bit tough. The Lamprey's Revenge are going to be holding. And they do have hand cannons with 90 range, so they actually can outrange these Marauder Horsemen and shoot at them. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Oh, Pone's getting some really good volleys in. The Vampire's getting a massive volley into the Mirror Guard. You can see the Marauder Horsemen actually getting buckled and routed a little bit. And Pone's actually going to be advancing outwards to fight this. And the Morngulls are going to be piling in. And here we go. It is showtime. Can Professor Pone and the Vampires deal with the Chaos Onslaught? So the Morngulls are going to be engaging the front line, pimp-slapping some of these Chaos Warriors. And this is a really good synergy. Morngulls stacked on top of zombies can definitely do quite a number on these Chaos Warriors. Flaming Sword of Ruin going down, and Archeon there is going to be able to hard counter those Morngulls pretty efficiently, just putting them down with his heavy damage. I really like using the Lamprey's Revenge here with their hand cannons just blasting away at these Chaos Marauders right here. Definitely some very cool stuff. Oh, and look at this. There's going to be a summon. The Damned Knight Errants are summoned right here in the back line. It looks like, are they? No, those are the Rotting Prometheans. So the Crabs are going to pull back and probably deal with these Marauder Horsemen. And it looks like there's going to be a Vampire summon as well. So 2 summons coming down. Professor Pone needs to pile those guys back here. So Loster Direfang definitely can do some pretty good work. But it looks like the Marauder Horsemen have been fended off for now. But a lot of pressure here in the back line. Those Crabs definitely need to pull back and engage. But Professor Pone definitely has his hands full. The Lamprey's Revenge are going to be sent into melee to deal with these guys and definitely putting some good pressure on. The Feral Manticore is already rampaging, so that's really good. That means it's just going to go sacrifice itself in the front line. So Lostra does also use the Song of Enthrallment here in the back line, which is going to slow these guys down, definitely mitigate some of their combat stats. Zombies here doing some pretty good work, but I don't know if Professor Pone has like the sheer resources to deal with all the different angles of pressure that are coming in. I feel like Chaos is just going to monster mash that front line. Granted, these deck droppers are doing some really good work. You can see that the Marauder Horsemen, for the most part, on this side of the battlefield, shut down. The Feral Manticore is actually dying to the pressure from these deck droppers. But the backline's very compromised. Marauder Horsemen everywhere. It's just absolute anarchy. And you can see here now that Professor Pone is going to be sending in these Crabs to shut down these Marauder Horsemen. So the Morngulls, we're going to see if they're going to be able to carry. I mean, he's done a good job taking out some of these troops here on the flank, but these Morngulls and zombies need to come back. A little bit of a mistake, overextending them there. But Professor Pone does have the advantage, actually, in the bounce of power. He's in good shape. He does have the Damned Knight Errants as well. I would definitely like to see them get summoned back here. And here they come. This must be the Damned Knight Errants. Come on. Get out here. Rush to the aid of Solastra. So this is going to give him some cycle charging tools here in the front line. He could potentially swoop back and do some work. And here they come. The Damned Knight Errants are going to be intercepting the Mirror Guard here. Not going to do a ton of damage, but they could potentially... No, Mirror Guard are immune to psychology. And the Crown of Domination from Archeon is also going to bestow that. And Archeon is just working on these Morngulls here. And now Professor Pone is going to be waiting back with the Morngulls. And the backline engagement's pretty rough, but he's done a good job killing the Manticores and some of the other tools here. Even though his backline has just been put in a trash can, this is a very, very close fight. This could certainly go either way at this point. Because the Lamprey's Revenge are so tough to kill for Chaos Infantry without halberds. You can see the deck droppers here are going to be shooting at the Manticore. Is the Manticore going to make it in? It looks like it's wavering at 5 leadership. Marauder Horsemen are coming back in as well, throwing some axes as they do come in here. But this Manticore definitely needs to be put down. I mean, he can't be losing his deck droppers right now. The Damned Knight Errants, in the meantime, are going to be fighting against the Mirror Guard, just trying to hold this main formation. Archeon is just going around and buttering the bread of the Morngulls, doing some very, very good work here, but also getting pimp-slapped by the Big Daddy Morngulls. So, yeah, I mean, he's going to win that, but the Morngulls definitely should be up here. I mean, you should do everything you can to avoid conflict with Archeon until you absolutely have to fight him, right? The Lamprey's Revenge, just kind of pound-hounding these Chaos Infantry here. They're supported by halberds. The Manticore here is doing some pretty good work. Solastra up on the high ground is holding with everything she can. And it looks like there has been a summon with the zombie pirate gunnery mobs with the overcasted vampire caster. And they're just kind of shooting at the mirror guard. But here comes the downhill charge, trying to rattle these Chaos Infantry, potentially get a terror out. But again, you actually can't terror out with Archaon nearby because he does make all these guys immune to psychology. So really, really good play here from Ridist. Now the bounce power for the first time is going in the favor of Chaos. Granted, it's a pretty close game, but some of the Chaos forces are kind of rallying over here. But these Lamprey's Revenge are just, God, they're so hard to kill. They are just anchoring it. And it looks like Ridist has rallied all of his Marauder Horsemen with the throwing axis. That's going to give him some additional pressure. And the Mancores are back online as well. So Professor Pone did a really good job initially shutting these guys down, but there's a couple kind of slip-ups in his back line where he let his Death Gunners go a little bit too easily for my liking. That I think might cost him the game here. It's going to be tough, but the Vampire Fleet Captain, oh, and the Fireball, oh my God, that Fireball bringing down Celostra Direfin to half health, less than half health. So that Fireball is just a very good counter against Celostra. The Vampire Fleet Captain here is going to be pretty much offline. Celostra comes in to pop her Song of Enthrallment, but I don't know if she realizes she's in the wrong neighborhood. She is in Archaon's hood right now, and she is just going to get put down so badly if Archaon gets his paws. Thankfully for Professor Pone, he did get one fat invocation of the heck here before all was said and done, which is going to kind of keep some of these Morngulls fighting. And the Lamprey's Revenge are just beast moding it, just marching around, taking things out. But I think that Archaon is going to win the game. Like, even though the Vampire Coast could potentially kill everything, I think that Archaon is going to be the anchor that wins this game because Celostra needs to get away from this fight. Like, she does not want to be here. She is trapped by the Manticore, and it looks like Archaon's trying to get over there. Slayer of Kings has been popped. 769 weapon strength on Archaon the Everchosen. And man, that is so dangerous. Celostra needs to get away because that Fireball... Oh no, another Fireball's coming. And here comes the no-scope Fireball. Is he going to get through the crabs? He's a little bit obstructed there. Oh, and it looks like the crabs are able to block the Fireball. And Celostra's going to come back and try and get a terror out. But they're within range of the Crown of Domination. That means none of these troops can actually be terror routed, which is so damn powerful. The Manticore is actually buckling. The Lamprey's Revenge are still fighting. Celostra has used all of her crab summons, so she obviously has no more. And the Jaws of Chaos are closing in on the forces of the Vampire Coast. But again, like, this could have been anyone's game. I think that Fireball set the bounce of power going, and Pone kind of had a couple slip-ups in his back line that let his Death Gunners go down. Granted, it was really tough to kind of stop, but Archaon's actually getting a little bit beat up from the Lamprey's Revenge and some of these other tools. But oh no, don't get so close to Archaon, Celostra. Oh man, she just got chopped for like 1,000 HP. The Manticore jumps in, goes at her, and she has 201 HP. She's crumbling, and Archaon with the steel chair putting down Celostra Direfin. Man, that was brutal stuff here. And now you can see the Lamprey's Revenge are holding, but the Marauder Horsemen are going to pile in. Beautiful play by both players. Professor Pone did a great job, put up an outstanding fight against Ridist, who's a very high-level, player, but, and so is Pone. But at the end of the day, it just came down to Archaon the Everchosen just being an anchor, just a roadblock. And who would have thought that 2 months ago that Archaon the Everchosen would just do so much work and just, man, that steel chair Fireball coming in with the karate chop afterwards. Outstanding play. Outstanding play. Both those games are really fun. We got to see some new stuff here. So yeah. That's going to be it. It looks like Professor Pone is going to be eliminated from the league for now for this season. Of course, he'll probably be back for the next season. Ridus is going to be moving on to the finals to face the winner of Tokshin. And let me go ahead and pull up actually the tournament brackets. We're going to pull that up here. So let me go ahead and let the players know. GG. Oh, they already made room for the next players. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the brackets, the tournament brackets here. You can see we do have Professor Pone and Ridus. Ridus has advanced here, so let's go ahead and update that. And Ridus will be meeting the winner of Tokshin and Sokol in the final. So Sokol was actually the winner of Zerkovic's big tournament that he just had, the grand tournament. So he definitely has some tournament chops. Man, that was a fun one. That was so cool seeing Chaos in action. So yeah, guys, we're going to be moving on to the next round here. We're just going to open up the lobby. I'll let the guys know in the channel that they are up, and GG. GG indeed. Thank you guys so much for joining today at Tokshin and at password. I almost said the password out loud on the stream. I was just like, oh yeah, that's good. All right, so the next lads are going to join up here. And again, for anyone joining, we can talk about the nature of the tournament and the league. So the league is going to be 9 streams in total. We're going to be doing a league probably with the launch of every major content patch. So whenever they launch a new DLC or something, we'll probably have a league to go with it. There's going to be 9 streams in total. 8 of them are going to be qualifiers, with the 9th stream is actually going to be what's called the grand final. So essentially it's going to be 8-man tournament, very similar to Everchosen. It's going to be long, it's going to be fun, and yeah, that is that. So Professor Pone and Ridus is going to be moving on, and also something else, the pieces of 8. So whoever wins this is going to get one of the pieces of 8 here, so their name will be engraved. And as we do progress through the season, this will kind of help you guys track who's going to be going and going to the grand finals and all that. Professor Pone did a great job. He put up a valiant fight for sure. And as far as the picks today, the players are actually agreeing on the picks. So maybe go ahead and make sure the players can get in here. A little bit tricky. We're actually using the new spectator mode, so I'm going to need to go on and yeah, I need to make sure I'm not hidden here on Steam. All right, 1 second here. Tokshin has joined. Now we're just waiting for SoCall. Professor Pone, you did great, my friend. You did great. We're proud of you. That was a great game. I actually really liked your Celestra pick. It was really good. In order to participate in the tournaments, you essentially just need to kind of 1 second here. Yeah, you just need to kind of be active in the multiplayer community, either winning, not winning, but being efficient and having, played in some of the tournaments that, Shetland Apache has hosted. Or you can join my Discord and there's a section to request season 2. And from there, we can kind of set you up for future seasons. So yeah, absolutely. Tokshin is in, setting up the second of the competitors today. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky to join the lobby sometimes with all these shenanigans. So anyways, guys, we're going to take a quick intermission here, and I'm going to go grab a water, and when both players are ready, we'll start again in less than 5 minutes. Ah, muted, of course. So we have had a bit of a change in the tournament, actually. Unfortunately, Tokshen's internet did croak. Not his internet, but the power in his entire neighborhood went out. So I guess his grid had some sort of a power issue. So we're going to be replacing him with Philip. So Black Phillip's going to be stepping in to face off against Sokol here. And we should be good to go. I just got like 10 messages on Steam like, you're muted. You're muted. So in the meantime, we're going to jump over and update the big scoreboard as well. So let's go ahead and do this while we're here. And 1 second. There we go. Look at that. The power of technology, my friends. Power of technology. Should be good now. Should be good now. All right. So let me jump in here. Profile and... Sometimes when you're in like different regions, it can be. I know. Unfortunately, his like the power went out just on the grid in general. So, what can you do, guys? But you know, we got we got to do what we can. We got to do what we can. The best lore of Magic, it's really circumstantial, but lore of life is typically like one of the best, like safest and best ones, right? Like lore of life and vampires. Vampires is just so good. Vampires is just so good. It's pretty nuts. I'm not on Twitch right now. We're just on YouTube. We're just on YouTube, my friends. Ah, I now have his Steam. And we're gonna go here, profile. Bear with me for 1 second, guys, while we get this going here. My favorite unit, man, I'm really enjoying the Vampire Coast so far. Like, I don't know, like I really do like the gunnery mobs. Like, they are just incredibly fun. They are incredibly fun. So I'll give you guys like another summary of the ECL and everything in just a moment. Like the whole league, all that kind of fun stuff. Second. All right, 1 second, guys. I just got to set up a couple things here since we had some change in the players. It's gonna take me just a moment to get everyone set up in the new lobbies. It's really strange how like difficult Steam can be when it comes to like getting people from different regions, like in lobbies. It can be a little bit tricky for sure. All right. Yes. So just a bit of a summary of the league. So the league is going to be 9 streams in total. We're going to be having a season whenever there's like a major like content launch or something, like Vampire Coast, for example. Each one is going to have a bit of a sub theme. So the Vampire Coast one, for example, is going to be 8 streams in total, each of which is a qualifier. So the individuals who win amongst the 4 competitors are going to be qualifying for the grand finals, which are going to be the 9th stream, which is going to be quite a bit of fun. So yeah, that's kind of the general parameters of it all. And it looks like we got our boy here, and let's invite him to the lobby. Invite sent. We did it. We did it. And he is here. And we're going to be on the Altorf outskirts. So not sure about the matchups yet. Looks like we're going to have Tomb Kings versus Wood Elves. So somebody earlier did want to see Wood Elves, so it could potentially be the showdown. And also for anyone watching this after the fact, I will make sure to timestamp all the different battles so you guys don't have to deal with the waiting and some of the structural stuff we had to change. But essentially, there's going to be 32 different players in each season. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for anyone out there in the community. If you guys are in the Discord channel, and of course we will be dropping links, and if there's any mods here in chat, Professor Pun just dropped a link, what a pimp. Essentially, you guys just need to go into the request section. So there's going to be something that says, I believe it says Turin League or something like the Eternal Challenger League. There's a place where just say, hey, I'm interested. And then as the seasons progress, I'm going to make sure to get new people in. Like every season, there's going to be 32 people. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, once you do get eliminated, yeah, Tokshen's power died, unfortunately. So we had to make a bit of a last minute change, which is what it is. We'll get him in another time. It's not his fault, obviously. 32 people, but if you do get eliminated in one of these events, like you're eliminated for the whole season. So then that gives other people opportunities to play, so you don't see repeat players playing. And it also is a new opportunity for us to discover people, down the line for the Everchosen. And also on top of that, to just like, just get some new play styles out there, which I think is going to be very fun and refreshing. So yeah, cool. They're working out their matchups right now. Wood Elves versus Tomb Kings is definitely one that favors the Wood Elves, I would say. And Sokol did just win the grand final tournament actually with the one that Zerkovic was holding. So that was definitely some pretty solid stuff, apparently. I watched a little bit of that. So we'll see if he can hang with Mr. Phillip, who looks like he's a fan of the Skaven from what I can tell in his thumbnail here. No worries, Tokshen. No worries, man. Yeah, Tokshen was in the lobby waiting, and then unfortunately he did have issues with his... he didn't have issues. His entire power grid went out. So it looks like we're going to have Dwarves versus Tomb Kings. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is going to be good. Oh, yeah. Tomb Kings versus Dwarves. Chariots. I hope we get to see Cetra in the Chariot of the Gods. That would be incredibly fun. I don't know why I prefer... I just like the people here on YouTube a lot. I've streamed on Twitch with Everchosen and a couple other events, but for the most part, I really do like the YouTube community quite a bit, so... Yeah. Tomb Kings, best kings. Pick armies and start when ready. So the guys are picking their armies right now. I don't need a screen blocker, but within spectator mode, we're going to be fighting on Altorf Outskirts. So you can see I'm just going to be picking the maps every time. It makes it a little bit easier. It also gives us like different maps, so you're not watching the same map over and over. Because sometimes when you have tournaments like and everyone plays the same maps, it's it's not. It can get a little bit redundant at times. It's cool to show off some of the different ones. But anyways, it looks like Tomb Kings versus Dwarves. I can click on their armies and see them, but I don't have a screen blocker up, so unfortunately it wouldn't like hide what they were picking. I love the YouTube culture. Yeah. You guys are awesome. Absolutely. Absolutely, my friends. But yeah, I feel like we might see Cetra on the Chariot of the Gods. I mean, Ark in the Black is very good because he can summon skeletons on top of like Dwarven artillery pieces and missiles and Bugman's Rangers and things like that. Spirit Leech, of course, is always a safe pick. But Lore of Neakara is one of those lores that's a little bit more for like going wide and just trying to get overall value from your army. So we could see Cetra on the Chariot of the Gods, who has been very popular. And I believe there were some cost changes to a lot of those lords that were a little bit underpicked. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So the winner of this will go on to the finals to face Rightist. And the finals of today's event will be a best of 5. So that's going to be a little bit more intense, I'm sure. I do have a sheriff's mustache a little bit, don't I? Yeah, I mean, I feel like Philip might have to pick Ark in the Black based on the name alone. That is a great observation for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you guys so much for joining. I see that we have 1,130 people, which is almost a record for a non-early access stream. I think it might actually be a record. This might be. Because in early access, we did have about 1,600 people towards the end of that stream. But again, this is like during the middle of the week. That was like on a weekend. So this might be a record. So thank you guys so much for... oh, and he's actually going to be playing Skaven. Oh, yeah, Skaven versus Dwarves. Hell yeah. This is a great matchup. Oh, man, I love this one. It is so much fun. Two Devil. Hey, we got to get you in here, Two Devil. Love the idea, Turn. Great job. Thank you. I even hit the like button, which is difficult for my dour dwarf heart to admit openly. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, my friend. Oh man, I would love it if Sirtha Ek was a legendary lord. Yeah, I know, Plessy. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Need more likes. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream and the format, a like definitely shows the gratitude there. So we're going to be doing streams quite often. We're going to be doing it's essentially just the same as the Flash tournament, but with a couple more graphics and a little bit more, hopefully fine-tuned. Granted, you know, there's things you can't avoid, but we're going to be doing it like twice a week, I think. So I do want to get it done like before Christmas or maybe like beginning of January type thing. Looks like Philip is ready. I'll click start, so that means that, you know, the battle will actually now start when they ready up. Not a big fan of soggy bread, no. Not a big fan. The match is interesting because dwarfs versus Skaven are like it's an ancestral like kind of grudge match. They are, thematically speaking, they have a very interesting history, right? You have like Skaven characters who are like hiding in dwarven holds and just all kinds of like crazy stuff. So I mean, you can use Iron Drakes. There's flamethrowers. There's it's just a great matchup. It's just a great matchup. It is very, very fun. I doubt we're going to see Tretch because the anti-large isn't terribly pertinent. The best choice, in my opinion, is going to be Queek Headtaker or a Bonebreaker Warlord. Or on top of that, you can even go with not Queek Headtaker. I meant Skrulk, sorry, because his abilities are just so powerful. But yeah, I don't know. We're going to see. The Bonebreaker Lord's a pretty viable choice as well. And it looks like we do have Queek. Oh, yeah, guys. So we're going to be, I wonder if we're going to get the Carrick 8 Peaks battle. Oh man, if he picks Beligar, that's just going to be too much. No, it's going to be Ungrim, so that's still pretty cool though. I mean, Ungrim, I feel like he would be down to slay some Skaven and stuff like that. So, all right. So, the tail of the tape for the Skaven and Black Phillip. He is going to have a front line of Clan Rats, so Clan Rats definitely pretty good at taking a beating against Dwarves. I mean, yeah, that's what they're not going to win any beauty contests, right? Skaven front lines usually aren't the prettiest, but he does have a Warlock Engineer. He's actually not a bad choice because he does have a Mortis Engine effect, and on top of that, he does have a pretty good AP. So he's very cheap. I think he costs like 400 or 500 when you strip him down like this. So I like that quite a bit. For his Lord, he just is going to have a Plague Priest. So the Plague Priest is just going to be spamming summons. So the Pestilent Rebirth and the Vermintide. He's got his big pimp cane thing going on here, so he's good to go. We do have a Queek Headtaker for our Lord. So he has the Dwarf Gouger, which is very thematic. Philip, a true hero of the people, bringing some entertaining stuff to bear. We do have Deathglow Bombardiers. Now, these guys are very good against infantry. The difference between them and Poison Wind Globadiers is that these guys actually have like heavy explosive shots. So they can like tear apart infantry, they have heavy AP. The only downside being that they're going to feed into the dwarves with the magic damage. So it's going to be mitigated by 25%, but it's still really powerful. Right? It's going to be hitting pretty hard. So yeah, beautiful stuff. Here in the back, we do have Skaven Slave Slingers. It looks like 4 groups in total, which, hey, Pebbles are always pretty good, right? Death Runners in the back. It looks like 2 in total. Death Runners aren't bad against dwarves. You can saturate them with non-armor piercing units to make them a little bit more effective, or use them to flank. They bring a lot to the table, as they say. So, yeah, it's Queek. Our boy Queek is back. It is the time of new meme lords. Archeon, they've all made a glorious return, and life is good once again. So for the dwarves in the back, for Sokol, the champion of Zerkovik's Grand Tournament here, we do have a cannon. It looks like 2 cannons in total. So maybe he's expecting Plague Furnaces, Doom Wheels, things like that. He does have some Slayers in the back, and in the front line, he does have Miners with Blasting Charges. So the Blasting Charge is very good against rats. And if they do decide to go Storm Vermin, these bad boys do have Armor Piercing as well. So it's a very well-rounded, safe pick. He has a Runesmith. The Runesmith does have pretty much all the basic runes, which is not a bad choice. The armor is helpful, you know, the damage is helpful, ward save is helpful. Bugman's Ranger is here. He does have a Vanguard over here in the forest. He's got a couple of groups of Longbeards with great weapons in his secondary line. With some Dwarf Warriors, looks like those guys are going to be the bread and butter of his army. But, man, there are some sneaky Skaven shenanigans going on, so we'll let him know to start when they're ready. Yeah. Check this out, guys. So there's actually a Death Runner Vanguard in the back, and all he has back here are Slayers. Slayers aren't going to trade terribly well with Death Runners. I mean, in terms of cost, it's not going to be the best engagement. So, yeah, guys, I don't know. No predictions. Ungrim Iron Fist ready to party. He does have the Red Ruin, I'm sure, and the Axe of Dargo. So, man, he's going balls deep in the Axe of Dargo here. This thing is gives him some serious karate chopping potential. Ben, thank you for the donation. Queek, like stream, yes. Ding dong, Skaven victory. Well, we'll see. We'll see, man. Thank you so much for the donation. And here we go. The battle's underway. The Skaven are going to be coming out of the deep forest after the dwarves. And these guys are ready to party. So, man, look at them. Look at them just sully forth from the forest here to be attacking. And they do have stock, so that means that the dwarves aren't really going to see them coming. Now, if I were him, I would probably wait a little bit until my main Skaven force gets closer so that my opponent can't react as easily. But, and he's doing it. What a beast. It's like he was reading my mind. Maybe he's watching the stream, but there's actually a bit of a delay, so it wouldn't matter anyways. But the Death Runners here, you know, the Dwarves have a lot on their hands here, right? It's a very wide force. Bugman's Rangers taking some shots at the Rat Ogres, which is always a pretty good choice. But there's a lot to deal with in the front line, right? Like tons of Skaven stuff, just Globeteers and just all kinds of shenanigans and just drama. So he's going to have to pull forward his reserves, right, to deal with this front line. And when he does, that's when the Death Runners can kill the two cannons. And if those two cannons go down, I think that the Skaven are going to take the game. So the Bugman's Rangers here to stay a little bit long, and they're going to be attacked by Skaven slaves, which they're actually pretty strong. They can easily kill Skaven slaves, so maybe it's not the end of the world. The Rat Ogres could certainly pile in here. But now the frontline engagement's underway. The Clan Rats will be engaging the blasting charges, and this is what you're here for. Let's just silence. So good and tasty. Yeah, give me those blasting charges. The blasting charges just absolutely shrekking those clan rats right there, doing massive, massive damage, and beautiful frontline engagement for the dwarves there as the Skaven just rush through the flames and just get just massive, massive damage on those guys. The Globeteers in the meantime are going to be piling in. Now they can melt these guys, but they definitely want to be focusing their resources here on the long greens with great weapons. And yeah, the pebbles are also being thrown as well. So the Death Runners are now going to be sneaking in. Oh no, this is so bad for the dwarves. He sent the Slayers to the front line being like, oh, my cannons don't need protection. It's not like the Skaven would sneak up and cause problems in my back line. But no, the Death Runners with the concealment bombs sneaking through the forest here. And oh man, these dwarves are going to get their bread buttered so hard. That croissant is just, oh man, just all the drama coming in here. So you can see here, both of the artillery pieces for the dwarves taken out. And suddenly, I can feel the panic and the stress. The Runesmith is able to buckle the front line. The Slingers are just pouring in on these guys, but the entire Skaven front line is pretty much massacred. So at the very least, the dwarves do have that going for them. The front line has been extremely one-sided, but the Runesmith overextending a little bit here. You can see Philip as, I was going to call Queek Philip, but Queek Headtaker and the Plague Priest actually running past that Runesmith. That would have been a pretty good target. Oh, he's trying to get a summon down here, but anyways, Rat Ogres over here on the flank, working on Bugman's Rangers, some Longbreeds with great weapons, but those Death Runners in the back line. Oh, and there actually was a Doomwheel in the forest as well, but the Death Runners absolutely shrekking those cannons right there, which is going to be very, very powerful. And yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty even battle. I would say that the Skaven have a slight advantage because of getting those artillery pieces. But oh my god, Ungrim karate chopped this Warlock Engineer. We missed that. He gave him the business. But look at those Globeteers. The Globeteer fire doing huge damage. The trophy head's going down. Queek is actually in a bit of a duel here, so this is very dangerous. He has popped the Dwarf Gouger and is a very powerful duelist. But the Axe of Dargo thirsts 659 erect weapon damage. The Skaven needs some help here. So it looks like there were some Clan Rats summoned to kind of help out Queek. And he does have the Verminous Valor, so he can't escape. And these summoned Plague Monks are actually chopping up the miners here. So very, very good stuff here from Philip. The Dwarves, of course, in a pretty decent position as well, with Queek being caught in a mortal duel with Ungrim Ironfist, who has popped the Red Ruin. 717 freaking weapon strength is insane. Oh, but Queek does a karate tumble and somehow gets out of there, but he's going to go back in. Oh, man, he takes a huge hit. Queek needs to get out of there. This is not a good situation. The Rune of Wrath and Ruin has been used on Queek to slow him down, and some summoned Plague Monks have piled in, but Ungrim is also taking a ton of damage from Queek, who is going to take the... Oh man, this is such a thematic battle, having Queek Headtaker battling a Dwarf Lord to the bitter end here. The Red Ruin going down. Oh man, Ungrim is low. Verminous Valor has been popped, which has knocked him over, and Queek could potentially take this duel with the trophy heads and all of his other effects here. Man, this is absolute insanity. So let's actually just stay here. I feel like this is the situation. Queek and Ungrim fighting in the pits. Oh man, and Ungrim, has he fallen? Ungrim has fallen to Queek Headtaker. The, I don't know who the true ruler of 8 Peaks is here, but it looks like Queek, man, doing tons of work here against those Dwarf Lords. Beautiful stuff. That was such a cool duel. Anyways, the Death Globe Bombardiers over here dropping some pretty hot fire on the Dwarves, just kind of this inexorable advance. And it looks like the Skaven might take this, with the Plague Monks being summoned, the Death Runners getting into the back line and just kind of compromising everything. And Ungrim Ironfist and the Runesmith both falling to Queek. Man, just crazy stuff. So the Slayers rushing in to avenge their patron saint here. They're going to be piling in and definitely doing some good work. But yeah, that's going to be a withdrawal. So Sokol is going to scoop it up. I mean, the bounce power is pretty heavily in the favor of the Skaven. He didn't really have much left. But man, Philip coming in with the steel Queek chair. That was crazy. Oh my god, I can't believe that. That Queek play was awesome. And the Ungrim was just popping the Red Ruin and just going in, and it was just this all-in fight. God, that was awesome. That was so cool. I mean, I'm more of a Dwarf fan. I would prefer to see the Dwarves win, but you still got to respect good play. Man, that was cool. The Death Runners in the back just causing massive, they killed an organ gun and a cannon. That's immediately like 2,000 gold out the window there. So, man, GG. And it looks like Philip's going to be going Tomb Kings, and they are going to be working it out. And let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. So Philip with the steel Skaven chair. Man, that was nuts. Oh, that was so good. The big axe will grace Squeak's fireplace. So, looks like Philip's going to be going with the Tomb Kings, and we're going to see who Sokol plays. And let me let him know. I forgot to mention this to them. Play the same race twice. Twice. Listen that by. Oh yeah, the dwarves thematically are like my favorite. I just love like the bellowing halls and the just the dwarven culture and yeah, for sure. But you got to respect that Skaven play for sure. The Onion needed more layers. He needed to respect the Skaven flank. That Death Runner gank was so great for sure. Okay, Sokol knows. That was so good. That freaking gank with the Death Runners and then Queek coming in with his prison shank and his trophy heads and his dwarf gouger and then gouging a dwarf out. Man, that was cool. That was really cool. So, Bretonnia versus Tomb Kings. Oh, yeah. Oh, Philip might be switching to Empire. Are we going to have a bit of a civil war? No, he's staying with Tomb Kings. Okay, I think he was just switching for a moment. Check something, perhaps? Man, that was so cool. Yeah, Brock, if you join our Discord channel, which will be getting linked throughout the stream, there's plenty of people to practice with. Absolutely. So Sokol is going to be trying to satisfy the grudge using Bretonnia, but definitely getting that hard life lesson there from Philip about defending your back line. Oh my god, that was such a good game. I loved watching the Red Ruin be popped, which actually made him squishier because it takes away his defensive stats, and just it's such a Slayer thing to do. Just go out on your shield, just battling some Rat Master, right? Oh my god. That was so good. Thank you guys so much for joining. Also, big thanks to Ben for the donation. You got your Queek victory. That's what you wanted, so hopefully your money was well spent. And Steven and White Frost Gaming again for your support on the stream here. So you guys, I really appreciate it. Here we are. Here we are. With the first of the Eternal Challenger League, Season 1, Qualifier number 1. First of the 8 streams. And Tiamat64, thank you for the donation. Forza Lady. Well, I'll make sure to let Lady Turin know that that donation was for her. Also, all of the graphics and banners, you know, the intermission graphic, the brackets, like all that stuff was designed by Lady Turin last night. I literally sprung this idea on her like last night at like 11 o'clock. I was like, hey, can you get all these graphics to me, like, so I can have them for the morning? And she stayed up. She did it, and she did a great job. So let's hear a big thanks to the lovely Lady Turin, also known as That Evil Hag on YouTube.
Nice and hot.
Yes.
Hot and spicy.
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
She killed it. What's up, Sir Koala? You'll be playing in one of these as well. And the battle's underway, and I actually got to change the map. That guys got to change map. So yes, I got to change the map. Actually, I almost forgot. So for this one, we're going to be playing on. We'll play on. They might want to change their builds up a little bit. You may want to change armies. Oh, they're good to go. Okay. they did not need to change anything. Yeah, Lady Turin is a legend indeed. Yeah, Garrus, I need to take a look at that for sure. So, predictions. Are we going to have a Tomb King victory? Or are we going to have a victory for the Noble Knights of Bretonnia? I don't know. This is a fun matchup. We Ushapti Grapos, Bone Giants, War Sphinxes. There's just so much different stuff the Tomb Kings can bring to the table here, but it's usually going to be Ushapti Grapos surrounded by spears, and of course, Ark in the Black is going to be the choice because it is Black Phillip. He kind of has to go that particular direction, right? So, for the army of the Tomb Kings and Mr. Phillip, we do have a couple groups of Tomb Guard here in the front, which are going to be a decent anchor. They can smash pretty much all the Bretonnian infantry for the most part. I actually don't know how they go 1-to-1 versus Foot Squires, but yeah, they're very strong. They pretty much just lack AP, and Bretonnia doesn't really have heavily armored infantry, so it's a good choice. King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion is going to be anchoring the center with their poison attacks and their really high melee defense. We got 2 groups of Skeleton Spears, and it looks like in the back we're going to have 2 groups of Tomb Guards with Halberds, which are essentially just there to deal with the heavy knights and things like that. So I really like the build so far from Mr. Phillip. We do have Ark in the Black with Spirit Leech, and he does have all of his items, which is going to be the most important thing. And we do have a Necrotect. Necrotect is going to be able to pop some fat restores here on some of the constructs, the Ushopti Great Bows, as well as this Sphinx. So he does have the Sphinx of Usek here, which anti-large, armor piercing, pretty much the bane of Bretonnian Knights. So it's definitely tough for Bretonnia to bring down, but you know, they have the tools. Their Knights can do it. Hippogriff Knights can do it. Even a massive volume of halberds and you know, peasant bowman fire can do the trick as well. On top of that, we do have two groups of carrion. The carrion, always a pretty annoying choice for chasing down, you know, peasant backlines and just harassing and blocking things up. And we have two groups of the Ushopti Great Bows. So the Great Bow is definitely not a bad choice. They're going to be able to put some good pressure on the Knights. Now for the noble heroes of Bretonnia. In the forest, we have Grail Knights and Grail Knights. Of course, anti-large, you know, pretty powerful, known respect. They can get some massive charges and cause some damage. Some big drama, as they say. Spearmen at arms with shields for the front line. So definitely, oh, look at that. Battle Pilgrims. Battle Pilgrims actually, I think, got a cost reduction or a bit of a minor change. I'm not 100% sure, but they're actually, they could probably kill the Skeleton Spears pretty easily. I don't know how they'll do against Tomb Guard, but I mean, they're certainly potentially up to the task. I'm pretty sure Tomb Guard would win. They do have a Damsel with Lore of Life up in the skies. He does have King Louis up on his noble steed here. Like a little bit of lag that's going to be subsiding here in a moment. And Halberds out on the flank. So are these the Beast Slayers of Bastion? It looks like it is. The Beast Slayers of Bastion definitely going to have a lot of... They're going to have some back pain after this battle with the amount of heavy construct damage they're going to have to carry on their own. But yeah, for the most part, it looks like both players are ready to party. So start when ready. And now it's go time. Yeah, a little bit of lag. Sometimes that happens when you're playing cross seas. Ben, thank you for the donation. Nehekar rises in the morning when his Alexa alarm goes off. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Thank you so much for the donation, man. Hopefully you're enjoying the spectacle. Yes, yes. All right, so right here we do have these, the Carrion are going to be scouting the forest, immediately giving them pretty good line of sight on what the Bretonnians could potentially be hiding. So the Knights are pretty much like, screw this, I'm out. We're going to go start harassing that back line. Now, I would probably keep them in reserve for quite some time and hide them in the forest until you can kind of close in on the Ushopti with your infantry and stuff like that. It looks like King Lewin is sick and tired of these damn Carrion Beast things, so he's going to be chasing those guys down, potentially able to kind of screen them out. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. For the Forest of Bretonnia, moving forward, Ushopti Great Bow is pouring some heavy fire into the Knights, so the Knights definitely want to stay hidden. These are very expensive, and taking any substantial damage from Ushopti Great Bows is going to suck pretty bad. And you know, the formation they're in now, they're a little bit bunched up, right? So that Ushopti Great Bow fire can do some good work. Now, the Tomb Kings are going to be advancing forward here. You can see that the Spearmen and the Tomb Guard and all those guys are going to be advancing on the Bretonnian infantry. And I feel like this is going to be a really tough one for Bretonnia, just based on the builds I'm seeing. I mean, Grail Knights might charge in and try and pressure here. The Carrion, yeah, the Carrion, I mean, there's no Peasant Archers, but if I were using the Carrion, I would probably actually, number one, attack the Damsel, and with the other one, I might just, like, actually send them to block up a Knight charge, like, use them in the back line. Oh, but look at this! From the distance, the glowing Knights of Bretonnia coming in. The Royal Pegasus Knight's going to be harassing the back line here. And a Spirit Leech going down, pretty good choice. It's not going to be that bad. Damsel can easily counter that with, like, a regrowth or something, but where are they going to go is the question. You have to be very, very careful with Royal Pegasus Knights because they can get just prunk slapped by Tomb Guard as well as the Sphinx, so you need to be very, very careful. So one of them does fall to the Spirit Leech, but yeah, it's not too bad. They didn't take much damage at all. King Lewin, in the meantime, is just kind of fighting the Carrion, and it looks like the fight is underway. Yeah, front line. Battle Pilgrims are going to be fighting against King Nikesh. The Scorpion Legion, Tomb Guard are actually doing very well. They're just smashing these Battle Pilgrims. The Noble Knights of Bretonnia, a beautiful flank charge coming in from Sokol. He's able to come on the flank. He gets a great rear charge against these Skeleton Spearmen. That's actually a really good tactic. And if he can pull back and like do the same thing down the entire formation, now this entire core of Bretonnians can pour into this back line and potentially cause some problems. On top of that, the Ushopti Great Bows, it looks like they did take a charge from the Royal Pegasus Knights who were on the hunt. Oh, but a very nice skeleton summon from Ark in the Black there, just tar pitting those guys. So So-Called here needs to grab these Pegasus Knights. He needs to force path and just click with all of his might to get those guys away from the skeletons, because if they get caught up, it's going to be really, really bad. So, oh, but it looks like King Lewin is now free, and the Sphinx is actually out chasing the Knights. Oh man, and he's so far away. The Grail Knights are probably actually going to attack the Sphinx here. That's actually a really good idea because it's going to buy time for, you know, Lewin and the Pegasus Knights to do some heavy work. And the Knights of Bretonnia slamming into the back line, taking out these Tomb Guard and, you know, or doing some damage to them, not taking them out, and the Skeleton Warriors. But we got a very, very close fight in our hands. And you can see the Bretonnian peasants are just pouring in the back line here. But the Tomb Guard actually trading pretty damn evenly with those guys. But it looks like the Damsel was also helping a little bit, so perhaps not the most accurate situation. But Lewin is definitely given the business to some of these constructs. He has 450 weapon strength, massive armor piercing. He's definitely very well suited for taking out the Ushopti. So, and you can't resurrect the constructs if I'm not mistaken. So, anyways, in the back you can see the Sphinx has made it back, and the Knights are now having a little bit of a hard situation. You can see they have 28 models here. They're kind of inundated with halberds, a little bit surrounded, so that is not a good situation at all. So So-Called definitely, you know, on the lower end of that trade right there. But the other Knights are going to be going after Ark in the Black, who's actually really beat up. And King Lewin might be able to carry this. And the Noble Beast Slayers of Bastion coming out of the forest, out of the flank. And they actually get a really good engagement here. And could potentially drag these guys down. Man, this is a great battle. The Royal Pegasus Knights do get the regrowth, which is going to kind of help top them off. They still have 12 models, so plenty of stopping power. And the Shopti Grapos are pretty much all but done for, right? So, man, this is going to be pretty tough. Granted, the Sphinx and Archon are not pushovers at all. You can see a Spirit Leech is going down right here on the Grail Knights to kind of wear those guys down. The biggest threat is going to be dealing with the Sphinx. And if maybe King Lewin can kill these Shopti Grapos and then go after this Necrotech and kind of slowly work his way through. But, oh, man, looks like Archon the Black is in the wrong neighborhood. Big Daddy Lewin's coming in. He's charging in, and Archon the Black could potentially die here. I mean, he is not the tankiest of lords. He actually has 50 melee defense, which isn't bad. And he does have Libra and Mortis to kind of help him out a little bit. But man, this is scary. Lewin is very, very good at killing enemy heroes. And you can see his curse actually is going to go down from taking so much damage. So the Sphinx needs to rush over there and needs to help out. Here comes the Sphinx. It's going to be charging. It does intercept King Lewin and temporarily shut him down. But Lewin can pull back up and through and continue to chase Archon. And the front line for Bretonnia, it looks like the Tomb Kings are actually being cleaned up a little bit in the front line as well. The Shopti Grapos here are crumbling. The Summoned Shopti are kind of holding back this massive horde, but they're going to be piling in soon. And the Pegasus Knights plus King Lewin are just haunting Archon. You can see Philip is just spam clicking in circles, trying to get away. Oh, but here comes the Sphinx. The Sphinx is going to be intercepting King Lewin. A massive Spirit Leech going down as well. And this is ooh, man, that's a really nice karate chop there from the Sphinx. Very, very close game for sure. So the Bretonians are going to be advancing. Spearmen at Arms in pretty good shape. I mean, Tomb Kings have their halberds back here, and Archon, he needs to just have that Sphinx on bodyguard duty. It's going to be tough. I mean, no one has an advantage right now. This is a very, very close battle. But King Lewin actually taking a little bit more damage than he should. The Damsel needs to get some fat healing on him for sure. I mean, you can see he has about 1700 HP. He does heal himself, but he needs to kill Archon the Black. Archon the Black needs to be gooned out here so he can kind of have impunity over the battlefield. Bretonians infantry in the front still fighting Tomb Guard for the most part. You can see these battle pilgrims are working through the King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, being helped by the Damsel, who unfortunately is wavering. So-Called definitely doesn't want to lose the Damsel. That's going to be really important for the late game. And it looks like Lewin in the meantime is actually just going to be cleaning up some carrion on the flanks while he heals, which isn't a bad idea. Looks like there's a charge on the Necrotect as well. Now, he is a foot lord, essentially. He's on foot. The Grail Knights aren't the best against foot units in general. And it looks like Big Daddy Sphinx coming in, and oh, that 1/4 Knight actually endures that massive pincering blow from the Sphinx right there. But some of these guys are definitely going to get karate chopped here if they keep fighting against this big boy. But the Beast Slayers of Bastion are in great shape, guys. They are going to be really, really good against pretty much everything that they have left here. King Lewin is able to clean those guys up. And Archon is hiding amongst the halberds. So very good play here from Philip as well as from Sokol. It's a very, very close game. And the Damsel could potentially stabilize. The Fighter Die does go off, which stabilizes the leadership, so she might actually rally here in just a moment. And right now, Lewin's just going to be cleaning the scraps, and the Beast Slayers of Bastion are going to be rushing in to go after the Sphinx, which is a pretty good choice, but I would definitely like to see Lewin a little bit more aggressive after Archon, because even though there are halberds here, he still could cycle charge and probably get some pretty good damage. Now, Spearmen are going to be piling in on the halberds. Obviously, the halberds are a better quality of unit. Oh, but a Spirit Leech going down on King Lewin as well. He is at 1300 HP, and he's not quite at his healing cap. He still can heal quite a bit, so yeah, that's why Lewin is just such a good pick. I mean, Alberic wouldn't be terrible here either, but Lewin, just with that healing, he's so much more independent, which is very, very useful. Now, the Beast Slayer's dragging down the Sphinx a little bit, getting some decent HP damage, but here he comes. Yeah, he gets a nice charge, but you can see here that Philip does actually respond with the Libra Mortis. So he timed that with the charge very, very well, and he summoned Skeletons on top of himself. Beautiful play from both players, both fighting to stay in the Eternal Challenger League for a spot here in the finals. And yeah, King Lewin, he's going to need to pull back a little bit. I mean, but at the very least, he did bait out that Skeleton summon, right? It's now not going to be able to be used in a perhaps more timely situation. Royal Pegasus Knights here are still in pretty good shape. The Sphinx takes a lot of damage. The Necrotech does drop a Restore, which is going to be really, really huge. Lewin actually could kill that guy too, but where is Louis? Yeah, it looks like Louis did fall back a little bit, but he definitely needs to kill Archon, because if he doesn't, there's going to be more and more Spirit Leeches. So the Pegasus Knights do charge in on Archon, forcing him back a little bit, and Lewin's going to be coming in right here with about 1000 HP, so give or take the same as Archon. Ooh, but a risky timing there. The Sphinx was nearby. Oh, Lewin needs to get away. He's going to take so much damage here. Come on, Lewin, push it, push it. So Lewin does get away. He gets about 400 damage on Archon the Black, who does pop the Staff of Nagash as well, which is going to help him get to his Spirit Leeches a little bit faster. Oh man, this is a close game. The Bretonians just fighting tooth and nail here, and this is really good. If Lewin can actually sweep over here and kill this Necrotech, that's going to take away the heavy healing, which has made this darn Sphinx so powerful. But ooh, that Spirit Leech is just so good. Spirit Leech going down there. He's at about 600 HP. Lewin's just going in for the kill. He doesn't care. He's going balls deep. He's going to try and take out Archon the Black. He puts him down to 300 HP. If Lewin can get away here, turn around, fly away. Oh no, but the Sphinx coming in with the steel chair, and Lewin is demounted here and taken off by the Sphinx. Man, that was close. 394 HP, and I think that Philip might be able to stabilize here, and wow.
Give you a meat.
Philip takes the game. What a battle. What a battle. So Philip taking the series 2-0, but SoCal put up a great fight in both
boy.
games. I mean, Bretonia, man, it's so cool to see them in action, putting up those like glorious battles, and yeah, that's going to be it. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. Philip is going to take the series 2-0. And now we can go ahead and take a look at the bracket. So the bracket here for the day, we shall go over and jump, but let me make sure to say GG to these guys real quick. GG. Wow, that was stressful keeping Arkin alive. So we'll keep Philip here, and we're going to go ahead and have Ritus join up. So go ahead and tag him. All right, and in the meantime, while we're waiting, let's go ahead and take a look at the... I don't think there was any throwing there, guys. That was a seriously awesome game. So tournament brackets. We are going to be having Philip moving on to the finals, who I actually need to update real quick. So let me go ahead and do this. Here we go. And let me go ahead and update that, because he did replace Tokshin, so I just have to update the scoreboards a little bit. All right, so it's going to be Philip versus Ritus here in the finals. What a game. What a game. That was quite a bit of fun. So now we're just going to stand by here and make sure the lads can join up, and then we're going to be going on to the finals. Now the winner of this final showdown, which is going to be a best of 5, is going to earn one of the pieces of 8. So you can see here, the pieces of 8 are part of the season. So this, of course, is going to be a league or a season, and there's going to be 8 streams. One winner from each stream. Each of them is going to get a gold coin, which is going to give them a pass to the grand finals, which is going to be an 8-player tournament, very much in the style of the Everchosen, which is going to be very fun. It's going to be 5-6 hours long. We're going to have sponsors. We're going to have giveaways. We're going to have raffles. Lady Turin is actually creating custom art and everything, so it's definitely going to be quite a fun time. So yeah, that's kind of the deals. Yeah, buddy, we're streaming. We're having a good time. Fly on Bread, thank you so much for the $10 donation, my dude. Really appreciate the support. It does help out quite a bit on the channel here, and also keeps things rolling for the multiplayer community. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, very well played, SoCal. That was a great match, and Professor Pone as well. He did an outstanding job. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick little break here as I do run to the bathroom and get some water, and we'll be good to go. BRB in about 2 minutes. All right, guys, and now we're back. Looks like we might potentially have another Chaos Showdown. We're here with the finals. Thank you guys again for joining today. Yeah, we'll update that to Wookiee, but for now, it was just kind of like, we didn't have much time, so we just had to kind of work with the graphics we could get there with the pug. Wookiee doesn't pose well, and we don't have a pirate hat to put on him. He's also very hard to photograph. All right, so we're going to see what they're going to pick. The map we're going to be fighting on is going to be... Let me see, we'll do the Pillar of Bone. Pillar of Bone's actually a pretty small map. It's a solid one for sure. But I think it's one of the more well-rounded multiplayer maps. Professor Pone is saying that in his earlier match he was tempted to take Queen Bess, but I knew he would spread his army out. Yeah, that's fair play. Oh my god. So yeah, guys, we're in the finals of the first of the ESL season, the Eternal Challenger League. Going to be season 1, and this is the first qualifier of 8. So there's going to be 8 streams. Each one is going to have 2 best of 3s, a best of 5 finals. The winner is going to earn one of the pieces of 8, and is going to be playing in the Grand Championship, which we'll probably have in maybe like sometime in December or maybe in January. Depends on how fast we can get through these streams, really. But we have quite a bit of time for sure. Wicked D says, thanks so much, Turin, for organizing this. It's awesome to see the community continuing to expand, grow, and mature. You so much. Thank you, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Ninja Hunt coming in with the donation. Please put this towards a pirate hat. All right. I'll do it. There's probably still some at the Halloween stores, I would imagine.
That's it. Nice and hot.
Oh, yes. I got to update the scoreboard there. My apologies.
Yeah,
this is a new game. It's a whole new world. And we got to update the other one as well, the red player name, now that I'm back. So who's going to earn one of the pieces of 8? What do you guys think? Italian Spartacus says, you've yet to tell us what CA told you about Chaos. I have no idea what you're talking about. I do not know. That Archeon is better now? Maybe that's what he's referring to? Yeah, hard to say. Chaos versus Empire would be a very fun one for sure. So Philip's ready. So I'll let him know. Start when ready.
Good old rub. That's it.
I love watching Empire versus Chaos. We're getting so many thematic matchups today. We're getting like Dwarves versus Skaven. We're getting Empire versus... We got plenty of Vampire games too in the beginning. We got to see Luther Harkin and Celastra. We had some really, really good games for sure with the boys. Riverbank, thank you for the donation. 4 wooden legs and an eye patch for Wookie. You know what's really funny is that Wookie actually might like need like peg legs eventually because his back legs are kind of giving out a little bit. I mean, it's not funny. It's actually very sad, but I mean, he could be a candidate for like peg legs or some other variant.
Hot and spicy,
which would be quite funny.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, someone just made a change to their army. That's what it was. Bretonnia's pretty good. I think Bretonnia's good. They're a little bit harder to play than some other factions because you have to be very efficient with your cycle charging and stuff like that. But I think Bretonnia's a good faction. They had some good changes. Royal Hippogriff Knights are actually much better now. Their pathing is better, so when they engage on something, it's like more direct and accurate, which is very cool. But I expect that Ritus is going to go very wide. Philip is probably going to use 2 Demogryph Knights with Warrior Priest and like Karl Franz or Boris. I'm guessing. Maybe even Balthazar Gelt for the final transmutation, but Sartorial is also a popular pick here. So there's a bunch of different directions you can go, but I do think that there's going to be a couple greatswords, halberds, Demogryph Knights, maybe with silver bullets. That's usually kind of like the standard direction to go in this build. Yeah. Wookie has some problems going upstairs. He can't really go upstairs and stuff, but you know, if you carry him, he's okay. I usually carry him around a little bit when he's struggling and give him all the love and attention he could possibly desire. Summon the Elector Counts. All right, guys, we are here with Game 1 of the finals, which is going to be a showdown between Black Phillip and Rightist. Again, competing for one of the pieces of 8, the key to entry for our grand finals, which are going to be in December or January, most likely, after the 8 streams, of course. So we do have a Great Cannon in the back, nothing fancy, just a standard Great Cannon. We have a Warrior Priest of Sigmar, who does have the Banner of Flame, as well as the Grand Hammer and the Shield of Faith, to give ward save and damage, always a good time. Front line of Spearmen, who are going to be sacrificed to Khorne. In the secondary line, we have a couple groups of Halberds, which are a very good, well-rounded pick. They have good melee defense, they have anti-large, they have armor piercing, they can fight Chaos Warriors, they can fight Shaggus, they can fight Chaos Knights. They're just a very, very safe pick, so I like the Halberds quite a bit. In the back, it looks like Philip does have 2 handgunners. Handgunners, of course, they have armor piercing, so you can defend them, they can generate good value. However, he doesn't have the silver bullets, which is a little bit interesting. I would have thought you would bring them. They're just like a better version of handgunners with stock. But anyways, the Royal Altar of Gryphites are going to be going in. These guys are a solid pick. Very good at taking down, elite Chaos troops in general. And the Warp Chicken definitely needs to watch himself because the Royal Altar of Gryphites can tear him up pretty quick. Zintler's Reichsguard here. They, of course, are very powerful. The Reichsguard ROR, very good at cycle charging Marauders, Forsaken, Chaos Infantry in general. So I like that pick quite a bit. 2 handgunners, and that looks like it's going to be all she wrote. And the Grand Meme Lord himself, Balthazar Gelt, is here. And he's not bad. Final Transmutation can be very good against blobs of Chaos Infantry and leadership and things. So, That's it for the Empire Army. Very cool little formation here with the cannon. The handgunner's probably going to go here and here. And he does have some great swords in reserve as well to deal with Chaos Infantry once they do pour through. So, for the armies of Rightus, it looks like he does have Chaos Knights with Lances and Poison Hounds. So going with the old school Chaos versus Empire build here, where you swarm around the flanks with Knights and just go absolutely hog wild. And Chaos Knights are just such a powerful, cool unit. Huge charge bonus of 80, which is very neat. Chaos Marauders here, Chaos Warriors with great weapons here in the center pocket. It looks like just Chaos Warriors into the sunset. So if you look here, you can see the center is going to be the Mirror Guard, 2 groups of great weapons for the great swords, and then Marauders just to deal with the chaff and the spearmen and things like that. He does have Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. On the other side, he does have Chaos Knights with lances and Poison Hounds as well. So this is a very old school Chaos build that is usually pretty good against Empire. And he has Warp Chicken. So Warp Chicken has the Plague of Rust as well as the Final Transmutation. Plague of Rust, the way you use it is when the Chaos Knights are about to engage against, let's say, some Demogryph Knights, right? You lower their armor, making their lances much more effective because they don't have the best AP. So we'll let them know they can start when ready. And we're going to get the show on the road. Hey, Armando, thanks for joining. What's up, my dude? Yeah. Oh, but look at this. There's actually a Vanguard. So over here, the Zentler's Reichsguard Vanguard is right on top of the Marauder Horsemen right here with the throwing axes. So these guys are going to get put in a trash can instantly, which is very tough. A rough loss. But look at this. Actually, Rightus might be able to swarm in. The Zentler's Reichsguard are like, oh no, they're actually starting to run. And this turned out to be actually a decent situation. The Zentler's Reichsguard are going to get caught by the Poison Hounds most likely. The Chaos Knights with lances coming in and getting the charge. So suddenly, this is not a bad situation for Rightus as the Chaos Knights do come in and get a massive charge on the Zentler's Reichsguard there. Beautiful stuff. You can see the handgunners, Balthazar Gelt's rushing over there. This would actually be a pretty good final transmutation cast right here because it's a bit, a pretty substantial blob, right? So it looks like he's going to be casting some sort of a piercing bolt. The Patriarch diving in himself, and it looks like there's going to be a piercing bolts going down, doing some okay damage, but I would say for the most part that was a relatively even trade. The Zentler's Reichsguard taking that damage isn't bad at all. The Horsemen, of course, took some damage, but it isn't the end of the world. But Chaos had to retreat because the Demogryph Knights were coming in, the Spears were coming in, and the Empire was looking to endure there. So some pretty wild stuff going on. In the meantime, we do have Mirror Guard, we have Chaos Warriors with great weapons coming in, we have Chaos Marauders, just all kinds of infantry are going to be pouring onto the Imperial ranks. Handgunners have a nice little volley of fire right here. They're just at this nice angle where they're not going to be obstructed. The Marauders are coming though. You can see they're lining up in formation to kind of squeeze through this little crack right here. So the Empire is definitely going to need to collapse downward with the Zentler's Reichsguard. If those guys go here and just shut down those Marauders, that's going to be a very, very beautiful situation for him. In the meantime, Hounds and Chaos Knights are swarming up and around the flanks. The Spears are going to be reforming, and the guns are falling back further into the ranks here. But Chaos is going to be able to tear through that front line. The Mirror Guard, very, very powerful against Empire State troops. The Halberds do have charge defense against all. They can absorb that charge. You can see the Great Swords are going to be piling in, but the Hounds do get into the cookie jar. So finally, the defenses of the Empire have lapsed a little bit. Rightus is able to get in there with the Hounds. Spearmen are rushing in, but I guess the cannon's already paid its dues for the most part. It's done some good damage against the Chaos Knights here. But yeah, it's always unfortunate to lose a cannon like that to Hounds. It's a really good idea just to sack Spears, but essentially, Philip had to say, like, hey, am I going to sacrifice these handguns or the cannon? And it looks like he did choose the cannon to go down there, which is always a little bit tough. Final transmutation going down on the Chaos Knights with lances, definitely doing some good damage. You can see the Zentler's Reichsguard are going to be rushing in to intercept. And yeah, some pretty decent damage going down. Warp Chicken in the front line is dropping some hot KFC bombs here on these halberds. And it looks like they're actually going to get terror routed. And it looks like the Empire is just getting enveloped. Very thematic of the end times here. As the Empire is fully surrounded, the bounce power is going in the favor of Chaos a little bit. The Royal Altdorf Gryphites were a little bit out of position. They unfortunately overchased a little bit on the flank. The Warrior Priest is going to be leading the charge in, but they might be able to butter some of that KFC bread and make a bit of a last stand. But the throwing axes in here are going to do heavy AP against the Royal Altdorf Gryphites as well. But the Halberds and Greatswords here trading well with the Mirror Guard. Over here, handgunners unfortunately have been compromised a little bit. They just have nowhere to run. There's Chaos Infantry everywhere. They're just swarming around the flanks. And the Marauder Horsemen here getting some great throwing axe action into those spearmen. And they're not the ones with shields, so they're definitely going to take a little bit more damage. But the bounce power is still, I mean, it's not a game that Chaos, like the Empire can't win. You can see the Supreme Patriarch, Balthazar Gelt, actually charging in and going after Sartorial, which is a very bold strategy. The Royal Altdorf Gryphites are fighting to the bitter end, but a final transmutation coming down from Warp Chicken this time, which is just melting those guys. And now you can see the bounce power is going in the favor of Chaos. Warrior Priest is trying to help out a little bit, but unfortunately he just got his backline compromised, and a very wide aggressive force with Chaos Knights and Hounds seems to be very efficient against the Imperial defenses here. So in the meantime, just a bombardment going down from Balthazar Gelt, trying to do everything he can to stabilize this game, but really, the Warp Chicken is just a little bit too strong, a little bit too crazy, and he's gotten in there with his KFC drumsticks, and he's been dunking all over people's faces. So in the meantime, Chaos Knights in the back could potentially charge down some of these spearmen who are not braced. It looks like they're just kind of standing there and laughing at the spearmen, knowing that this battle is probably pretty much over. The greatswords and halberds have been doing a good job, but the mirror guard, even though they've been hard countered by greatswords, are still just tanking like nonstop. Like a Brust going down, warrior priest, very much like the Mark of Chaos cinematic, going in to fight a greater demon, probably to meet his doom here. And you can see the drumstick master is able to just absolutely chop up some of those guys. And that's pretty much going to be all she wrote, as Balthazar Gelt is going to fly away into the distance, fly back to his college, and rethink his career decisions. So, Warp Chicken, very, very strong. I think that he needed 2 Demogryph Knights, maybe a little bit, drop the cannon. What I would probably recommend, I like his build. I think it's not bad. I would probably drop the cannon and drop the Zintler's Reichsguard and get 2 Demogryph Knights and maybe, just tighten up the army a little bit, just so you don't have to defend as much, because he just didn't have the resources to defend everything. And Chaos was really aggressive. They got around the back and they buttered that bread, which was always a little bit tough. So, yeah, well played, well played. Ridus is going to take game 1 here, so let me go ahead and update the glorious scoreboard. He's going to go up 1-0, and again, this is a best of 5. So we definitely have a little bit of time here before all is said and done. Jump over to the lobby. GG. Game 2. I got to go ahead and change the map before I forget. And I'm trying to... I gotta remember which one is... that's a pretty open field map for sure. We'll do the Sword of Torgvald. It's actually one of my favorite maps. So maybe after that, we'll do the Tower of Hoeth. And eventually, I think we'll do something where the players... Like, we can actually let you guys vote on the map. We'll have, like, a poll, and you guys can choose the maps for the different games. I think that would be pretty fun. I also want to do some flash tournaments outside of this league where people in chat get to vote and pick the races of the competitors. I think that. So Cole, yeah, I think he's from Eastern Europe. I'm not 100% sure, but I would guess by the name, yeah. 1 like equals 1 warp chicken freed from warp factory farming. Yeah, so we're gonna see what they're picking. Right now, they're gonna be and that's how we do our tournaments. The players can essentially. They talk amongst each other and decide on the matchups to make sure we get good, fun matchups instead of one-sided ones. So I think it's definitely a better way to go. Hoping for Lizardman Skaven before Christmas. Oh, that's doable. That'll probably happen. We're going to have Lore Master of Sotek in one of these, so I'm sure that we could have him play against someone who likes to play Skaven. I'm pretty sure we can make that happen. Oh, yes. I am curious what they're going to play, though. I would like to see Vampire Coast. I love watching them be played. They're just so incredibly fun. Yeah, the High Elves definitely are very good against Wood Elves. They have all the answers. Like Lothern Seaguard and their archers just trade so efficiently with Wood Elf archers. Their spearmen are really good. It's really hard for Wood Elves to beat High Elves, in my opinion. And plus, High Elves also have another counter to Wood Elves, which is Heavy Calf. Word of Torgvald. Just letting him know the map. We saw Vampire Counts actually earnest in one of the first games of the stream. And of course, this stream will be up later for watching, so you guys can go back. But we had Vampire Counts playing against Vampire Coast, and it was a really fun game. We got to see Von Karstein Vampire Lord summoning Vargulfs and just all kinds of madness. It was great. Oh, okay. Fair play, Professor Pone. Fair play. Yeah, separate. So they just can't play the same races in each match. But if they're playing a different opponent, they can then play the same ones. You can play TK. Ever thought of doing a series-wide of Turin Kick My Ass where you give tips to new players you encounter? I could. I don't know. I think yeah, maybe something. Maybe I'll just do a guide on for new players. Yeah, I don't know if I would want to call it that if I were going to do that. So we're going to have Tomb Kings. Ridus is going to be picking his faction. I would love to see Vampirates. Come on, Ridus, you're up a game. Take a risk. Go with the Vampirates. Yes, Vampirates. No, I don't want to put my opinions into this because I don't want them to feel like they didn't try their best to earn a spot by trying to appease or entertain my. I want them to play their best pick. The Ridus right now is going to be deciding on his race, but it looks like we have the Tomb Kings being decided upon for Philip, and of course Ridus can negotiate with him and decide on the matchup if he can't figure out one he likes. So, yeah. If individuals are interested in playing in the future seasons, there's a link within our primary Discord. There's a subsection on the side which is called I can actually look right now. Go there. It's called, so you'll see it's called the Eternal Challenger League, and it's called Turin League Request. So you can go there and just drop a message, and as the seasons do advance, I can get you guys invites and everything like that. Yeah. You guys want Phil? Let's go, champ. Let's go. Greenskins would be fun for sure. I think that. Yes, yes, he's doing it. Yes, yes, that's what I wanted. Give me some time. First time playing the matchup. He's going to be working out a build right now. I foresee that there's going to be my build for the Vampire Coast versus Tomb Kings is actually double Necrofex Colossus with Noctilus, a double cannon. It's like, it's very powder heavy and it's super fun. And then I actually use a bunch of Depth Guard because they're really good against infantry. You just gun down the constructs with your cannons, your infantry kill the Tomb Guard. It's pretty strong for sure. Yeah, I think Vampires are really good. I think Vampire Coast is super solid. They're really, really good. Through COD, there will be links from the moderators. Professor Pone, Misha, a couple other folks in here are going to be dropping links to the Discord throughout the stream here as we do wrap things up. Yes, yes. I really think that Vampire Coast is super good against Tomb Kings, actually, more Indie Pride. I really do. I think they have some builds that are just so destructive. Because, like, how are Tomb Kings... I mean, Chariots, like, yeah, I guess Chariots could potentially kill Depth Guard, but basically you just have, like, a line of chaff halberds, right? Like, 3 or 4 halberds. You have, like, 3 Depth Guard. Then you get double Colossus, double Cannon, and just like it's really tough for them to deal with something like that, in my opinion. You think Tomb Kings? Yeah, maybe it's a hard matchup. I've only played it once or twice on ladder, so I don't have the best experience. But I haven't played like players that are probably super high level. What do you think about the Skaven? I think Skaven are a little bit. They got a lot of changes actually in the most recent Vampire Coast patch, so I think they got some changes for the better. I don't know. They perform okay. I think Skaven are a really hard faction to play. Firstly, so that's one of the things about them. No, Dimmy, I'm not going to be in this tournament. I'm going to be casting it. Stream started about an hour and a half, or an hour and 50 minutes ago. So Professor Pone says, at Turin, I brought Luther versus Tomb Kings, since they have magic lords, and Luther, I alpha striked the death magic guy, and my opponent quit. Oh, lovely. Lovely. 1 second, guys. I just need to check on the dog. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to let the dogs out. Oh man, I just opened up a can of worms without. Who let that out? You hear Wookie? Oh my god, I hope we get the Bow Giant versus the Colossus. That would be so good. If we could get the Bone Giant versus the Necrofex Colossus battle. Yeah, I'll take care of the Discord stuff to make it a little bit easier to join. I don't know why all the links I put up expire, even though I set them not to expire. I'll have to talk to Italian Spartacus. He might have changed something in there. I'm not sure why, but I'll have to check it out. No, we're not summoning the Wookiee. He actually just needs to be put outside. Yeah. It's open field with a trench in the middle. He was just asking about the map. Yes, I do see the donation. Thank you so much, man. I see it on the PayPal for the $2 US. Thank you so much, man. It looks like your name is Polish as well. I'm in Poland all the time, man. Thank you so much. And Ben, who let the scurvy dogs out? I am not sure. Well, Anne is actually letting them out right now.
Give your meat a good old rub.
Oh, if Gobbo King wants to make a glorious return and play in one of these tournaments and do that, I'm more than what I would love to have Gobbo King play again in these events. But he kind of I don't know where he is. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully he's doing well. Definitely miss playing with the guy. If King of the Dead wins the whole league, you will donate $100. Oh man. Well, King of the Dead will probably play in one of the next ones for sure. Yeah. I want to peek at the army so bad. So I will start the battle. Let the guys know they're ready. And it's go time. You want DJ Kotep? I don't know if we're going to see DJ Kotep. The Rightist actually said this is his first time playing Vampires against Tomb Kings, and he's doing it here in the tournament finals, which is pretty cool. A true hero of the people. His heart was broken from the Everchosen. Yeah, the Everchosen was really that game. His matches with Aerocrastic were pretty fun for sure. I'll let him know. Start when ready. And here we are in the grand finals. Been a great journey, my friends. Man, 1,397 people. Iron Titan versus the Colossus, that would be fun too. I have a feeling Philip is going to have a line of Tomb Guard and Skeleton Warriors going into the sunset. And he's going to have like 6 Skeleton Archers with the Blessed Legion, and he's going to have like maybe a Bone Giant lurking in the back. Like, it's going to be a super wide army. Maybe seeing some Chariots and Nehekara Horsemen, who are actually really, really good in this matchup. Nehekara Horsemen are great. They can Shrek zombies, they can harass the back line. They're dirt cheap, they're very cost effective here. Yeah. I just don't like mirror matches in general. Like, it's a little bit trickier from a casting perspective, and I feel like having more diversified faction choices is just more fun to watch in general. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you guys could, right now, we're at about, yeah, somebody just mentioned we're at about 401 likes. If we could get that up to like 600, 700, 800, maybe even over 1,000, which is quite possible considering our numbers, I would greatly appreciate it. It does mean a lot. And it also helps my channel grow, because it then, you know, basically YouTube's algorithm is like, oh, hey, people like this video. More so than his other videos. We're going to show it to new people who perhaps don't know about Total War and Warhammer and all that stuff. So again, it's really helpful from both from a business standpoint as well as a community standpoint. So again, really appreciate it. This is a best of 5. Best of 5, my friends. And here we go. It is showtime. The time is now. If I get a dab, I'll upvote. I'm sorry, I can't stoop to that level. I can't dab, I'm sorry. If I got like a $500 donation, I would dab. That's like the only condition. I like, oh God, it's so cringy. Okay. Here. One sec, guys. Just doing a quick change. All right, back to the game. All right, guys. So currently, Ridus is up 1-0. And he's going to be playing the Vampires, and he's going to be facing off against the Tomb King. So as expected, the Tomb Kings have a massive line here. Just Skeleton Warriors, Tomb Guard just going into the sunset. And going wide against the Vampires is always very cost-effective. Skeleton Archers, also a very good choice. Don't have the best range, 140. About the same as like handguns from the Vampires. But these guys can do some pretty good work. They can pick apart handguns. They're cheap. They're cost-effective here. Definitely a very solid choice. They can trade with deck droppers efficiently with their range. But I like this pick quite a bit here from Mr. Phillip. On top of that, 3 groups of Carrion, so really sending the message home that he does not want to be dealing with deck droppers. So he does have 3 Carrion. A couple groups of Nehekara Horsemen. I think in total he has like 2 or 3. Oh, looks like he does have he's actually has some of his guys over there as he does set up. So 1 group of Nehekara Horsemen. For his leadership, he does have a Deathcaster, so a Lich Priest with the Lore of Death, Spirit Leech Vedabuna, and Sesher the Imperishable. Oh, please be on the Chariot. It could be on the horseback as well, because the horse isn't bad. because Cetra on the horse actually does have anti-large, so very, very good against things like a Necrofex Colossus. So pretty solid little build here, which is going to be good. Don't you dare. I will dance, but for the right amount of money. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take a look at the stream settings and make sure. Yeah, and make sure. How's the stream quality, by the way, guys? Is everything looking good? Is it a little bit laggy? Kind of curious about the settings, because again, I can't really monitor that. But yeah, so the front line here is going to be Skeleton Warriors, Spears, Archers, and then he does have Cetra as well as the Deathcaster. And yeah, that looks to be pretty much it. So Cetra is actually going to be like a combat lord here. He only doesn't even have any of the spells from Lord Nakara, so he's just going to be going in trying to get some fat damage with the anti-large armor piercing. He does have the Wrath of Petra, however. So for the vampires, it looks like we do have Count Noctilus. Count Noctilus, who is everyone's favorite garden gnome. I think he kind of looks like a lawn, like one of those like gnomes that you have on your lawn. Look at his face. Or he kind of looks like a pug or like Grumpy Cat. He totally looks like Grumpy Cat. Okay, good. Glad to hear the quality is good. And yeah, I think Noctilus should be called Grumpy Cat from now on or something in that same ilk. On top of that, so front line of the zombie pirate deckhand mobs, he has a couple group of Depth Guard, which are going to absolutely mulch the front line of the Tomb Kings. They are pretty much a hard counter against squishy infantry. The Black Spot, which are zombie pirate gunnery mobs with halberds. These guys have anti-large, armor piercing, very, very good stuff. More gunnery mobs here, more halberds. It looks like in the back he does have a carronade, a cannon, which is going to be a great choice against Tomb Kings. Loving the build so far. I feel like it's pretty well rounded. He has a second cannon over here as well. Oh, 3 cannons. Man, he went balls deep in the cannon, so these things are going to be doing quite a bit of work for sure. And Kay, thank you for the donation, man. Really appreciate it for the five bills. Yeah. Oh yeah. But 3 cannons are going to be great. Granted, it looks like the Tomb Kings did go very wide. They do have Ushabti Great Bows, however. The Ushabti Great Bows are going to get melted by these firing power from these carronades. So I'm quite excited to see those guys in action. Count Noctilus or Grumpy Cat's going to be here on foot. And yeah, this is going to be a battle, all right. Looks like there's some scurvy dogs. So obviously, Ridus is playing. He's playing very well today, and you can tell his builds are solid. Like, this is his first time, and it's a very well-rounded build with answers against the infantry, answers against the constructs. It's just a solid build. I like it quite a bit. So, start when ready. OP. We'll let them know they're good to go whenever they want to. Scurvy dogs are going to be really useful for harassing those skeleton archers, and I think I don't know if the Tomb Kings are going to expect it. The carrion actually can fight the scurvy dogs, so maybe that's something that he's going to use them for, just to kind of protect his back line a little bit. Yes. The unworthy shall be purged. Yeah, I don't know. What are your guys' predictions? So now we have a big overhead look here of both factions. Let me know in chat. What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to get a victory for the Tomb Kings, or we're going to get one for the Vampirates? I personally have my marbles on the Vampires right now, just based on the army compositions. But again, you can never underestimate Black Phillip, the terror in the night. Yeah, boy. So the carrion are going to be scouting. Looks like they're going to be poking back here, seeing what's up. They definitely could go shut down the cannons and allow the Ushabti Great Bows to do their job, because the battle's underway, and the Ushabti Great Bows are taking cannon fire to the face like hardcore. And just look at that, just getting domed by those carronades, which is brutal. Scurvy dogs look like they're actually falling back instead of going up and around the flanks. I would have liked to have seen them pressure the archers a little bit. The third group of scurvy dogs did indeed have to run from the Nehekara horsemen here. And the cannons are, yeah, just shooting into the Ushabti Great Bows, which is not a bad idea at all. So the Ushabti Great Bows are now going to be returning fire. They're going after the Depth Guard, which is a very, very good choice. The Depth Guard, of course, have no shields. They have no mitigation here. Granted, shields don't help against Ushabti Great Bow fire because they're kind of like artillery pieces, but nonetheless, they don't really have any defense against these massive Ushabti. So good stuff from Ridus. He definitely wants to fall back with the Depth Guard because they're going to be pretty much the main way he's able to deal with the massive horde of Tomb King's infantry. Ushabti Great Bow is still shooting at these guys. I would just keep falling back for him, just like as far back as you can possibly go. And it looks like the carrion are thinking about going on the carronades. You can see he's assigning 1 carrion to each carronade. And look at this. Ridus is actually following with the scurvy dogs and just getting ready to actually engage them. So the zombies aren't the quickest at defending their hearth here, and the carrion are small. They're not a large entity size, so the bonus versus large on the deckhand mobs isn't going to be helpful, but they're still dying very quickly, right? Scurvy dogs are charging in to intercept here. It looks like Nehekara horsemen are coming around as well. And look at this massive firepower coming out from the Black Spot, just absolutely dumpstering these Tomb King Ushabti here. And these are actually just regular gunnery mobs, but still, the volume of fire. He was actually able to pull back the Ushabti by hiding the Depth Guard very deep. And then he's just taking them apart with his powder line, which is just beautiful. Noctilus is also going to be able to help the front line quite a bit because he can just spam summon like zombies and things like that in the front. And it looks like some Scurvy Dogs are going to be going around the back, and there isn't much in the way of defense back here. I definitely think the Vampires are in a very dominant position right now. Like, everything is well defended. Nekar Horsemen are sweeping in. They're just, this is kind of like desperation mode, right? Where you're just sending things in. You're like, I don't have an answer. I need to shut these guys down. So right now, the Death Guard are going to be charging in. It looks like Cetra did maybe think about going after Noctilus. Not sure where he's going to end up going, but the Tomb King's infantry are now here. Skeleton Warriors aren't going to do the best against, let's say, like, the zombie powered deckhand mobs, but yeah, it's a bit of a wish-wash trade. I think the deckhand mobs actually win because their weapon strength is so much higher. In the meantime, Depth Guard are going to be falling back a little bit, maybe just looking to kind of anchor away from the main fight and just be used as a reserve unit. Gunnery mobs here are being attacked by Cetra the Imperishable. One group of Ushaptu Grapos is still online, and the Scurvy Dogs in the back are actually going to be coming in to butter the bread. So you can see these guys are coming after the archers, and ooh, there is not much to defend here. Granted, Tomb Kings could easily detach some Tomb Guard or other things to maybe defend against those guys, which would be pretty good. So Depth Guard do get the Fate of Bina, which is a really good choice. And they're going to be engaging now. So when they are in melee, they do heal, which is very, very nice. But that Fate of Bina is still doing a ton of damage and melting those guys very quick. But looks like they stabilized. They only lost one model, and now they're just going to heal up all day. It looks like Invocation of Nehek going down, so beautiful stuff there from Ritus, kind of stabilizing. But this is a pretty close battle. I wouldn't say anyone's in a super advantageous state at this point. I think the battle is going a little bit better for the Vampires based on the situation that they're able to defend all three cannons. They didn't lose any of them, right? 3 cannons here, we have 3 cannons here, and we have 3 here, right? So they're all shooting, they're all optimal, and those Ushapti Grapos are going to get just trounced right now. On top of that, the Scurvy Dogs be in the back line. They're going to be tearing up these Skeleton Archers, which is just so brutal for the Tomb Kings here. They definitely needed a little bit of defense. Even though the Vampires are a bit of a defensive faction, you still have to respect their harass, right? They can bring Fellhounds, they can bring, not Fellhounds, Scurvy Dogs and Bats and things like that, so you have to respect it. It looks like Grumpy Cat, Count Noctilus is down here. He's going to be helping out the Skeletons as well. And some of the Skeleton Spearmen are going to be coming up from reserve. But Cetra is trying his best in the front line. He's providing that much-needed armor piercing against the Depth Guard, and it looks like he's almost solo, actually able to take out, like 20 of the Depth Guard models, which is pretty good. But yeah, it looks like the Vampires are just in really solid shape. The Ushapti summon in the back going down. Oh, but look at this. Philip is actually able to get those guys off the cannon. So I think he knocked the crew off with cycle charging. And then he's able to kind of polish them off and crumble them. So Philip might be able to claw his way back in if he can do the same thing to the other cannons. He summoned Ushapti's back here, just another kind of a bit of a aggressive play, right? He kind of has to, because these cannons are just tearing him apart. He did summon his Ushapti's back here. Granted, I would have probably summoned them on top of Depth Guard, because they're a hard counter. But, you got to shut down the cannon, so I see the direction he's going here. The Horsemen are going to be pulling back. They did take out 1 cannon. There's still 2 online. Frontline fight is, yeah, it's a bit of a wash. I would say it's a slight advantage here for the Vampires, as these Depth Guard have 110 kills. And I'm telling you, if you don't have, strong, hard-hitting units, Depth Guard will just last all day. You can see that Philip is actually having to use the Fate of Bina to really melt these guys. So it's a tough life, but they have 127 kills. A lot of people in chat were actually saying that Depth Guard were very weak, but I think they're not meant as a frontline troop, but as a supporting troop. And when you mix them in and they get that really juicy fight against squishy units, they can just farm all day. Over here, we do have Grumpy Cat. Count Noctilus is going to be down here fighting hordes of skeletons. He did summon gunnery mobs. God, I love that he can summon those. And the gunnery mobs are just going to be shooting into the back of these skeletons. Pretty much all the Tomb King's infantry, however, do have shielded infantry, so it's not the best situation, but shooting in the back does mitigate the shields, actually. Now you can see for the first time the balance of power is kind of shifting in the favor, it looks like, of the Vampirates. Although, yeah, look at this cannon is actually crumbling over here. I mean, Cetra could certainly still pull this one out. It's going to be tough, but what do the Tomb Kings have left? So in the back, they have the Chosen of the Gods, who are fighting in melee. They still have OK ammo. The Lich Priest with Lore of Death is also fighting back here, so they're just trying to clean up these summons that Noctilus dropped. And Cetra is taking a bit of a beating, and the problem is that Noctilus does have anti-large and AP himself, so Cetra, of course, is a much more powerful combatant, but Noctilus is no pushover either. So here, look at this beautiful play here from Ritus. He's going to be summoning more zombie pirate gunnery mobs. They're going to be turning. Did Noctilus just spank his own zombies for no reason? Man, that's kind of weird, but they're going to be shooting into the back of the skeletons, who aren't going to be getting the benefits of their shields here, right? So the hard knock life definitely laying down some tough life lessons here on these skeletons. Cetra up on the high ground, just riding about, crumbling whatever he can, but yeah, that gunpowder coming in. I mean, the cannons, for the most part, are finally able to stabilize. At least one of them is, and the other one's shooting as well. And it looks like the Ushapti Grapos in the back are going to be crumbling just from so much damage they've taken from the cannons all game. And for those of you that said Depth Guard were weak, I mean, they did pretty good. They did pretty good this game. I really do think they're not bad. 164 kills, and the other Depth Guard, I think, got easily over 100, if not 150. And yes, it was against Chaff, but anything that's lightly armored and doesn't have armor piercing, Depth Guard are a pretty good counter to. So that's going to be 2-0 for Ritus. Yeah. That was a really solid play. I mean, and that was his first time playing against the Tomb Kings as well, and he really stepped up and was able to make a very good creative build, and it worked great. It was awesome. I mean, Philip's build was good too. One of his problems, though, is he didn't necessarily respect the Scurvy Dogs, and the Scurvy Dogs just tore apart his Skeleton Archers. So you definitely need to defend against that. The Carrion, I probably would have been... I don't know what he could have done with the Carrion. I think you have to bring Carrion against Deck Droppers, but maybe just cut the Ushopti Grapos and just get the Blessed Legion, like 2 more Skeletons, and go even wider with better infantry. And that doesn't give them any targets for their cannons to tear apart, because those cannons just shreked the Chosen of the Gods. It was just absolutely brutal. So right now we're going to update the scoreboard here. And there we go. And it is time. Yeah, Depth Guard are kind of like Forsaken, aren't they? Oh no, where'd he go? Hopefully he knows that it's best of 5. He might have disconnected. Let me double check. He just leaves. Okay, hopefully he comes back here in a second. Hopefully he comes back. Come on, Phil. We might have to call him. Yeah, he might have thought that it was like a quick 2-0. Right, he didn't rage quit. Definitely not. He's not like that. Gosh, darn it, Philip. Philip's like one of those names you could be like, God damn it, Philip. He forgot. Welcome back. Time for a comeback. So we got to see the Vampire. So the next one we're going to do is the Tower of Hoeth, which is definitely a very solid map, I think. Let's actually do the Essence of Chaos. No, Tower of Hoeth's better. If we do go to Game 4, we'll do the Essence of Chaos. And I got to look up some of the Lustria maps that are actually pretty good. Here we go. Give us that sweet, juicy comeback, says Ritus. Oh, man. And he's back. Very true. Deck Droppers are a very strong unit. So Tower of Hoeth is somewhat open field, but if you are facing, you know, a very powder-heavy faction, there's plenty of forest and terrain to hide your army in. So I definitely think it's one of the better multiplayer maps. It's very, very good. Philip's back. Tell him to go Beastmen. I don't know. We'll see what he picks. He's trying to decide right now what he wants to pick. Ritus, of course, can't play Vampire Coast again, but Philip could play Vampire Coast if he wants to. That was a cool build. The cannons, I mean, it's kind of similar to the build I was telling you guys, just like heavy cannons and depth guard, right? Like that's really how you defeat the Tomb Kings. It's very, very strong. Philip, oh, you think Philip's employing some mind games right now, huh? Jonton, man, what's up? Total Brohammer in the house. We're in the finals of our season 1 of the ECL League, the Eternal Challenger League. And yeah, we got some pretty good games here. So while they pick their armies, I'm just going to minimize. I just have to change one setting in here. Yeah, so we're going to be having one of these on the weekend as well, most likely. So that should be quite a bit of fun. Guys, I'm just changing one thing here. All right. You guys want to see lizards? We'll see what they're going to pick. I don't know. They're negotiating right now. So essentially, like I said, and I'm sure there's some new people, but for any of my tournaments here and Everchosen as well, we essentially let people negotiate their picks now. So there's no more blind picks because, I mean, it's a decent format for like ladder and stuff like that. But we found that we got better games when the players got to like pick a matchup they were both happy with, right? So that's kind of the direction we're going to be going with at least my tournaments. So, Jonton, the Emperor's finest. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jonton's great. Give us that sweet, juicy comeback. I'll let him know Tower of Hoeth is going to be the map. Pick it up. Oh, man. Been quite a day. Thank you guys so much for joining. Hey, Adam, it's my pleasure. Just glad to hear you're enjoying the event. And I think I did miss a couple donations as well. So, Antoine, thank you for the $5 donation. Really appreciate your channel. Thanks for the quality videos. And Sissio, SSIO, also for the €5, it looks like. So thank you so much, my friend. Hopefully you're enjoying the tournament. Definitely been quite a party today. Man. See what they're going to pick. Oh, he's AFK. Okay. Fair play. He's been here for quite some time. Yeah, for the grand finals, for the individuals who do get the pieces of 8 and get to play in the grand finals here, so I'll go ahead and show you guys. There's actually going to be like raffles and giveaways and things like that. So whoever wins this game, we're going to do a glorious engraving. It's not going to be glorious. It's just going to be me doing it here. But we're going to engrave their name here on the one of the pieces of 8. So every week you guys can go. We'll be showing you guys like who's going to be going to the finals and everything. So yeah, that'll be good. You want some orcs? I know we haven't seen greenskins. They're pretty good as well. Yeah. And the brackets for today, of course, for anyone joining. We had Professor Pone face off against Rydist. Some very good games. And then Philip and Sokol had some games earlier as well that were quite good and close. And now we have Rydist versus Philip in the finals. And Rydist is currently up 2-0. We got some serious stuff going on, guys. Serious stuff. I accidentally almost just clicked on the video for the Flash Tournament movie, the one that has the BFG division. I was like, oh god, it's too intense. Yeah, maybe so. We'll do another random tournament. I'm going to be focusing on this one, for sure. SSIO, German rapper. Totally enjoying it. Got it. I need to get some water. Let me get some water real quick while the lads pick up. I'm back. Alright guys, we'll be back in 1 second. Man, love this community. You guys are awesome. I don't know. Pieces of 8 made more sense, right? Because there's 8. There's 8 people in the finals. The reason I didn't stream last weekend is because I wanted to like set this up, but I wasn't really sure about the direction I was going to go with it. So I just kind of like, and plus Dov plays with streaming, and I was watching his stream. It was kind of nice to just actually relax for a day and sit and watch some other casts for tournaments and stuff. So yeah, Dov did a really good job casting some tournament games and whatnot. So that was really fun to watch. I've also been getting pretty into Lore Master of Sotek's Let's Play with Heinrich Kemmler in the Barrow Legion, which was a lot of fun. It kind of like, I was going to play it, but then I saw him playing. I'm like, I just kind of want to watch him do it. Turin, would you like halberds and non-shielded spears in Warhammer being able to form spear walls? I kind of like the mechanics of Warhammer as is. I don't know if I'd want to add too many formations to the game. Yeah. Yeah. Noxlos is great. Noxlos is good in a ton of different matchups. For sure. He's really good, guys. I did play Blood Bowl a bit, but I'm taking a little break from it because I do have wrist problems, and I just want to focus all of my hand strength on doing Total War content. So I'll probably get back to it again someday once I'm able to rehab my hand a little bit better with physical therapy and all that. All that good stuff.
Give me a good old rub. That's it. Nice.
We'll see.
Hot.
Yeah, they're in Discord discussing the army picks right now, so if anyone was wondering, that's what we're waiting for right now. Yeah, guys, we got 581 likes. I think we can get up to 700 or 800 if we push it. I believe in you guys. And big thanks to Villain. Wow, for the 20. The big 20. Thank you so much, man. And he says, thanks, Turin, for all the content you provide. Love these streams and the regular uploads. Any faction you're looking forward to in Warhammer 3? Also, what niche matchups do 2 to 3 groups of Minotaurs have? So, number 1, in Warhammer 3, I'm really looking forward to getting any Nurgle army. If they give me like a Nurgle army, like the Blight, like Nurgle's Blight Hordes, or, you know, just some sort of like like badass, like heavy metal Nurgle army with like Nurgle Chaos Warriors, I will just be a happy camper. That's what I really want, because I play Nurgle in tabletop 40k. I have a Death Guard army. I'm actually painting Mortarion right now. Like just give me that. So that's the answer to your first question. The second question, Minotaurs have a pretty good niche in the Bretonnian matchup, as well as Gorbals actually. I mean, they're not. Second here, I'm just making sure. Fits the map. High Elves versus Vampire counts. Ooh, this is gonna be hard. This is gonna be hard. Vampire counts are really strong. But Minotaurs. Okay, so Minotaurs aren't bad in the Bretonnian matchup. What you can do is you can actually get Cygor. So you get the Eye of Morsleep, you get Malagor, you summon another Cygor, and you play a very like dwarven geometry style of play, right? Where you have your infantry far offset in the front, and then in the back you just keep like Ungor Spears with Minotaurs. And when the Cav try and come and shut down your Cygors, you cast Warp Gaze on them, you countercharge with Minotaurs, and you just give them the business. Minotaurs also aren't bad in the Chaos matchup. They do have a couple niches. Do have a decent niche there. Minotaurs aren't terrible in the Chaos matchup. The Great Weapons can actually do okay. I mean, there's Steamroller builds you can do that. So I would say they're not bad in the Chaos matchup, the Vampire matchup, and they're not terrible in the Bretonnian matchup. Those would be the ones I would say to answer your question. Thank you so much for the donation, man. I really appreciate it. Well, the Vampire counts have access to the Bloodline Lords. I have a feeling Philip's going to use Tyrion, probably. Even though Alariel might still be better in this matchup, although it's hard to say. Tyrion's really strong, for sure. Sunfang is so good at roasting hordes of chaff. So. Do you ever do things like... Yeah, I watch streams and like 40k battle reports. There's a couple 40k battle report channels I like watch every night. Winter's SEO, Tabletop Tactics, Hellstorm Gaming. I watch Mini Wargaming occasionally. I just go deep in those while I'm painting usually. But for the most part, that's like a time when I get to hang out with my wife because she paints 40k with me as well. So we sit and we kind of paint together, and it's a really fun thing for us. So she's helping me paint my Death Guard army. Yeah. What faction is overall best against all others? That's a tough question, Gorguts. I think Vampire counts have a lot of good matchups and very little bad ones, if at all. Dark Elves are pretty good. Dark Elves Vampire counts. Although it's changed a lot. Dark Elves definitely got some nerfs, so I don't know how they are in the meta right now. I have to kind of evaluate better, but I think Vampire counts are pretty good in most matchups. High Elves is one of their harder matchups, I think. Yeah, like the stream, guys. If you enjoy this content, like it. It's a good way of letting me know that it's something that is desired and all that. So let me check the scoreboard. Scoreboard's good. We're up to code. Everything's looking high and tight. Yeah, we're almost ready. Riot's just finalizing his build. I don't play Age of Sigmar now. I just play 40k right now. I will play Age of Sigmar someday. I'm thinking about doing a Chaos Dwarf army, actually. The weakest faction right now, I would say, I don't know. I don't want to say it before the Vampire Coast patch. It probably was Skaven, but now that the Vampire Coast gave them some buffs and Lizardmen buffs as well, I don't want to make any judgments before I get to kind of see them in action a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of my opinion there. I think Empire is they're not like on the highest tier, but they're very hard to play. I think like it's really like to play Empire against. They can do it though. They're a high skill cut faction, so Empire is capable of a lot, but they're very hard to play compared to some of the other factions. No, Lady Turin. She's actually a little busy right now, so maybe she'll stop by later in the stream and say hi. I want to do 40k battle reports. Yeah, I'm just kind of. I don't have anyone to play with right now, so I'm just kind of waiting for some stuff for some people to finish painting their armies or just to be ready to play. Yeah, White Lions aren't bad. I think White Lions aren't the best frontline troop, but they're really good. Kind of like Depth Guard. It's a supporting armor piercing unit. They're actually really good in the Vampire matchup because they're pretty good counter against Depth Guard. They're cheap and give you some decent AP. So, yeah. Empire's hard to play because they have a lot of like tender spots in the army, right? You have to rely on handgunners and cannons and things like that. And their state troops are relatively squishy and flimsy. Even their greatsword infantry aren't the best. Like so they kind of lack on a lot. And you have to like really like deploy correctly and like be rallying correctly and having like secondary layers of engagement. Like Empire is just a harder faction to play in general. Yes. All right, guys, we are here in the finals. We have the High Elves here, who are going to be led by Mr. Philip, and he has Alariel the Radiant, but she's not going to be on her Pigeon, so Alariel's pretty good. Arcane and Forging, she has Earthblood as well as Shield of Thorns. They're definitely ready to party. Hopefully you guys can't hear that music next door. It sounds like some of the... Unfortunately, my brother's also DJ, and he's making some noise next door, so it is what it is. So we got Alariel the Radiant, and yeah, she's a good choice. Arcane and Forging isn't bad against vampires who are looking to spam, magic spells. Top of that, Earthblood is very good against, for healing, Elite Cav, Fireborn, Phoenixes, things like that. So she's by far one of the more competitive picks. She's very, very solid. Front line is going to be Spearman, pretty good for holding up chaff and cav charges. Secondary line is going to be White Lions. And White Lions are actually not bad against Graveguard, especially like Sternsman and Standard Graveguard. They can do some work for sure. They will struggle a little bit against Graveguard with Great Weapons, if I'm not mistaken, just because of the sustainability of Graveguard. In the back, we have 2 Lothran Seaguard. Pretty cool units. You don't really have to defend them too much, but Vampire counts can use Hounds and Fellbats to really shut these guys down because their anti-large and charge defense doesn't really help them too much against those units. On top of that, we do have a Frostheart Phoenix in the back, which is pretty cool. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Terrorgeist can eat this thing up, but if there's no Terrorgeist, this thing has an AoE debuff, so it actually slows things down if we look here with the Blizzard Aura. So it lowers melee attack and armor-piercing damage. So if there's like a big blobby fight, you just throw them in there and it's really good. On top of that, we do have a Handmaiden of the Everqueen. It does have flame shots as well as magic and heavy AP, so that's going to be cool to see how that gets played out. And we have 2 groups of Dragon Princes, so just a very heavy cav force here for Mr. Philip. And they can do some work. I'm really looking forward to seeing them fight some Blood Knights or some other big monstrous threats. Should be quite a bit of fun. So, time is now for the forces of the Vampire Counts. We do have Rydist over here, who is up 2-0 right now. So if Rydist does win this game, he's going to be our champion for today, and he will earn a piece of 8, and he will be competing for in the grand finals if he does win here. So 3 groups of Fellbats just to kind of harass the back line. He's probably just going to sit them on Lothran Seaguard the entire game, maybe even put 1 on top of the Phoenix to just shut it down temporarily. The rest of his army is going to be hiding in the forest for now. He does have the Blood Knights, it looks like. He also has a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. And oh my god, these guys are so cool looking. Check this guy out. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is going to be riding with his Blood Knights into battle. He has the heart piercing. He is a gangster. He is ready to go. So god, this is going to be so cool. Blood Knights with the Blood Dragon Lord. And he does have 2 Blood Knights in total. So it's really refreshing not to see Terrorgeist, actually. Skeleton Spearman here. He does have a bunch of Graveguard with great weapons. And that is going to be pretty much it. So start when ready. Oh man, Blood Knights on Dragon Princes. That's like such a thematic, cool showdown here. So very excited to see this in action. Yeah, Philip is definitely on his last legs, but the Aesir here are ready to go. I like his army. It's not bad. I mean, he has the tools he needs to, right? Like, the Dragon Princes can trade well with the Blood Knights if they're being supported by the Frostheart Phoenix, as well as, like, some supporting magic from Alariel. Like, her Heart of Averlorn and her Earthblood's just so good, so right now, the Dragon Princes, it looks like they're going to be pouring forward, looking to scout about. He obviously knows that the Vampire Counts are kind of lurking over here in the forest, but the reason why the Vampire Counts hid in the forest initially was just in case there was bolt throwers and artillery and things like that, but I think once he realizes there isn't going to be any of that, he's just going to come out and probably fight here. I wouldn't actually mind, if I were Philip, sending the Phoenix to just hunt Fellbats. I think it's faster. It has 100 speed. Fellbats have 110, actually, so the Phoenix would have to get a little bit closer because it does have the slowing aura, I believe. Does it have a slowing aura? I don't think it does, actually. You would think it would. It has the Blizzard Aura, which lowers melee attack, but it doesn't actually slow movement speed. So the Dragon Princes are going to be scooting forward, maybe getting some free cycle charges here on the Graveguard and some of these other troops. Definitely not a bad idea. And in the meantime, the Blood Knights and the Blood Dragon Lord are going to be pouring through the forest. Look how, like, seamlessly he blends in with those guys. Like, you can't even tell, like, he's amongst them. He's, like, he looks pretty much, yeah, he looks pretty darn similar for sure, but he does have the dual-wielding weapons, which is a little bit different, so... anyways, here the Blood Knights are going to be probably perusing about, just getting ready to charge out here. The Dragon Princes are just waiting for their vampiric opponents here in the forest. So Frostheart Phoenix is going to be engaging, definitely some decent free targets. I would probably just attack the Graveguard on the far side or even cycle charge Skeleton Spears. Because even though they do have anti-large, if you cycle charge effectively, they should be able to escape. So yeah, he's charging in here. The Blood Knights are nearby. Where are they? Yeah, they're actually going to be rushing out. But yeah, he needs to be careful with the Pigeon. He can't stay for too long because if he does, those Blood Knights are going to just get him. And it's good. Oh man, he should be running the other way. He should run back this way. If he gets caught by the Blood Knights, that thing is like 100% dead. Blood Knights are so good at killing such things. Oh man. Philip, this is a bold strategy, Cotton. Not sure how it's going to work out. So the Frostheart Phoenix is on the run now. Fellbats have pinned it in a little bit, and the Blood Knights are on the hunt. Oh, and he's juking back and forth, but Fellbats aren't bad at like mucking things down. He might need to engage with his Dragon Princes right now. If the Phoenix doesn't get away. Okay, Frostheart Phoenix should be able to push through the Stearnsman and the Graveguard and get away unimpeded. And it looks like the High Elf forces have advanced a little bit. So Lothran Seaguard should be providing some overwatch as well against these Fellbats. I would definitely like to see that. So the Blood Knights are actually going to engage here in the front. A little bit of a strange charge, but they did charge one another. And the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is here. He pops Heart Piercing, so he's going to be doing a ton of work. Helm of Discord going down. So it's an item he has, which is going to lower the combat stats here. And a Zombie Summon. Oh, man, Philip just... man, there needs to be a Heart of Averlorn right now. If he doesn't pop that, he's going to be just in a horrible, horrible situation. So right now, we need the Heart of Averlorn. We need some healing. The High Elf Fireborn and the Elites here are kind of getting torn apart by the Elites. The Spears are going to be piling in. Now the Handmaiden's pushing in. Everything is going. Both players know that this is it. Curse of Year is going down, which lowers melee attack. The Pigeon in the back is going to be attacking and providing that Blizzard Ore to nearby troops. And the Spears are also piling in as well, which is going to be good because the Blood Knights here are going to be pinned in by the Spears. So the Fireborn are fully surrounded, though. You can see just a very dire situation. And it's very thematic as well for Alariel to come in and like try and rescue in the last minute, right? But the Star of Averlorn going down, all the healing, a little bit delayed on that. I would have liked to have seen that earlier because I think the Fireborn kind of got deleted from existence. I'm not 100% sure. The Dragon Prince is here, still going. Fireborn are broken. Yeah, that's a little bit tough. Balance of power, definitely in the favor of the Vampire counts here. You can see in the back line, the Lothran Seaguard are just being hunted by all the Fellbats. And they're going to be able to put up an okay fight. But yeah, like their anti-large doesn't help against these units. So that's pretty much how you counter Lothran Seaguard. He did also pull back some of his White Lions to kind of clean up the chaff, which is going to be a little bit more efficient. But Alariel and her kin do falter here in the middle. As you can see, the Blood Knights and the Blood Dragon Lord are able to just cleave those Fireborn asunder. You can see he's just covered with blood, just ready to party. And yeah, this guy is definitely a menace. The Heart Piercing definitely very good for the Blood Knights because he actually pierces armor and then allows your Blood Knights to do quite a bit more damage. So balance power is in the favor of the Vampire counts. The back line's a little bit inundated, just hordes of Vampire count stuff everywhere. The White Line's actually doing pretty good against the Graveguard here. The Handmaiden of the Everqueen is going to be running and probably doing some 360 no-scopes here on the Blood Knights. But if you look at the battlefield, it's looking to be pretty heavily in the favor. I mean, I think that initial engagement that Philip took was a little bit risky. I think he kind of overestimated the power of the Fireborn against the Blood Knights because Blood Knights are no joke. Especially with the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, who's going to pierce the armor of the enemies. And look at this. He's just coming for that booty right now, hunting down the Handmaiden of the Everqueen. So anyways, the forces of the Vampire counts are kind of pouring in here, and it's only a matter of time, I think, before the High Elves experience a full collapse. There's still too many Graveguard. There's Stearnsman. The Blood Knights are just hunting the Pigeon over here. You can see the Knights of Red Keep just coming in with a full chub, and the Frostheart Phoenix is literally like squealing and running right now, which is just not a good situation. And, oh, did the game crash? Oh, no. Well, hopefully they can keep playing, but yeah, that game was pretty much over anyways. So, so we'll check in with the guys. I don't know. I haven't had a game crash. Maybe one of the players crashed and it like dropped me out or something. Yeah, my hand's doing okay, Rich. And also, thank you for the donation from a Duck on a Rock Productions. Keep up the incredible work. Love watching the content and seeing the community grow. Your game commentary is legendary. Thank you, man. Yeah, sorry about the crash. I'm pretty sure the game was over, but we'll double check. The spectator mode still is in beta, I think, so it could be something with that, but we haven't had any problems all day, so. But yeah, we'll double check, but I'm pretty sure that game was like over. Yeah. I mean, he could have just as well left the game there. It was pretty much Dundee's. So I'll check with those guys in just a moment. Let me go ahead, multiplayer battle. You guys can see the password now, it doesn't matter. All right, so let me check with those guys. Let's see what's going on. Hold on. Yeah, Black Phillip actually crashed, so it wasn't me that actually. I think he said he crashed, and then it might have caused that. You got the error message? Okay. So guys, that's going to be it for today. Big congratulations to Rightist. Let me just let him know. So, but I'm going to double check with Philip. I'm pretty sure he just conceded and said that. I'm just going to make sure he's on board with that, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty much over at that point. So we will be updating the graphics. No, it was a crash. It sounds like everyone crashed there. It could have been something with Steam. Happens. High elves are really good. I think like had that engagement he took was just a little bit rough, for sure. So yeah, guys, that's going to be pretty much it for now. Rightist is going to be taking the Series 3-0. It looks like. I mean, the bounce power was pretty lopsided, and you know, both they're actually talking in Discord right now. And Philip actually just said that the game crashed, but I lost anyway. So yeah, it was. We're just going to kind of call it a day from there. But well played to Philip. He put up some great fights earlier, as well as Professor Pone. And let me pull up the actually the leaderboard if I could, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that for now. So the brackets, Rightist is going to be our winner for the day, and Sokol, well played to you, to Black Phillip, as well as Professor Pone. But Rightist is going to be our first champion here, and he's going to be grabbing a piece of 8 and moving on forward to the grand finals, which again will be in December or January or something like that. We'll have to figure it out, but yeah, that's gonna be all she wrote for today. For the lady. GG, guys. Well played, Philip. You were an absolute beast, man. You put on some great games today. Thank you so much for joining. And again, big congratulations to Rightist. He's going to be our champion for today, claiming the first piece of 8 for the Eternal Challenger League Vampire Coast Edition. And we're going to be moving on forward to the next stream, and probably on Sunday. I think we'll probably do it. So, and before you guys leave, if you guys could drop a like, it is very helpful. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's over. That was a 3-0. That was a 3-0, guys. So Rightist will be getting one of these glorious pieces of 8 here, and it will be updated before the next stream, which is going to be quite a bit of fun. But Rightist does win that series 3-0, and again, it was a best of 5, so that was that's kind of the nature of the beast there. High elves, I mean, I can kind of show you guys, like, high elves do have a hard time there for sure, but I'll give you guys some builds here real quick that I think are pretty efficient. So yeah, while we're here, we can take a look. So if I were playing high elves against, high elves are one of my weaker races, but I mean, there's so many different directions. Alariel's pretty good. Teclis is good. Teclis is nice because he has nets. So you can like do a net with Teclis, for example, and I would probably bring like Regrowth and yeah, Flaming Sword's pretty good for the duels. Then I would go double Noble. Nobles have anti-large, really good against like Blood Knights, things like that. They take damage themselves, but they're really good support to some of your other elements. The Scions are good. Get a couple Spears as well. And let's see what else we want to get. I mean, the Dragon Princes can definitely contend. You can also get Sisters of Averlorn and a couple groups of Lothran Seaguard, but you need to definitely defend them, so you need more spears for the backline as well. 2 white lions can be helpful, and from here, I mean, this is like a very defensive, like Helm's Deep style build, and then you can also get some Reavers. The Reavers, essentially, we can cut one of these Spearmen for now, and the Reavers you would use to actually just hunt the Fellbats and do a little bit of rear charging, or you can even like cut these and go with like Dragon Princes. There's a bunch of different ways you can go. But guys, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. We're going to be calling it best game of this qualifier. Oh man, it's hard to say. You guys will have to go back and watch. But big thanks to everyone who played and everyone who joined on stream and is watching, liking. Let's do some special shout outs to the donations as well. We have a donation from A Duck on a Rock Productions, Villain, Antoine, SSIO. We got Mr. K there. We got Ben, Riverbank, Italian Spachikish, Ninja Hunt, the fake one, of course. Fly on the Bread, Ben, Tiamat, Ben, Steven with the Fat 20 as well, and White Frost Gaming. And then on PayPal, I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. From Pavel, I believe is how you would say that name. I don't want to mangle that, but that's my guess. So that's it for now. Also, guys, if anyone is looking for more content, Italian Spartacus is going to be starting a stream in the next 20 or 30 minutes. He's going to be having a tournament as well. It's his Warpstone Cup, so he's going to be having competitors. It's going to be fun. It's the exact same format as this, give or take. So yeah. So head on over to that. If you guys want more action, head over to Italian Spartacus's channel. It'll be starting in about 20 minutes and should be quite a bit of fun. So thank you guys so much. You'll be able to watch this back later. Big congratulations to Rightist. He's claimed our first piece of 8, and he has qualified for the grand finals. And on this Sunday or Saturday, we're probably going to be having the next of the qualifier rounds. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.